Chapter 3046. A complete copy update, the latest chapter of the Nine Sons Divine King, as soon as possible. The Daluo Empire might not have treated these kingdoms as their lackeys, but they had been suppressing their growth. For example, the great Luo Empire had allowed them to come to the gods' wilderness on the condition that they build a super-emperor city. The Daluo Empire wouldn't care about anything else. The enmity between the kingdoms was very deep. After they built the super-emperor city, they would definitely continue to fight in the deity desolate. With the power of the kingdom, they would definitely be able to rope in all the powerful races in the divine wilderness and then get involved in the war. In this way, the living beings in the divine wilderness would die in large numbers in the war. The Daluo Empire wouldn't act directly. Instead, they would use a method that was within the rules to suppress and restrict the growth of the lower and middle-level living beings. The Daluo Empire would only be able to make a move if a middle or lower-level living being managed to break through the suppression. The Daluo Empire was the only upper echelon of this universe. They were high and mighty and rarely took action. What they loved to do the most was to set up a variety of rules and then use the power of the rules to suppress other parties. They wanted all living beings in the universe to live according to the rules they had set up. Previously, there was a group of your cat-eared people who joined hands with the great divine lord to snatch a mine. Those cat-eared people were eventually killed by the destroyer. Do you know about this? Qin Yun asked. I do. How do you know about this? The cat-eared person was a little surprised. Because I saw it with my own eyes. I was nearby at that time. I heard those cat-eared people say that the destroyer was here to capture a little girl. They also said that the little girl had appeared in the Nine Sun Sacred Land. Qin Yun asked, Do you know what kind of little girl she is? The cat-eared man frowned and said, Previously, there was indeed a group of destroyers in the divine wasteland looking for that little girl, but they still couldn't find her. Now they have no choice but to leave. I wonder if they will come after the little girl appears. This will anger the Nine Yang Law spirit. What kind of lass would make the great Luo Empire send out so many destroyers? Asked Qin Yun. The little girl's father is a member of the imperial clan of the Daluo Empire. He and we cat-eared people gave birth to a baby girl. This infuriated the entire Daluo Empire's royal family, and the little girl's parents were captured in the end. It is said that they were tortured in the Daluo Empire for several years before dying. There are also rumors that they didn't die, the cat-eared person said. Qin Yun is very surprised that Maluru actually has such a background. The cat ears of the cat people are all black while Maluru's are white. Moreover, she also has a heaven-defying ability. It turns out that she has the bloodline of the Luo Empire's imperial family. At this moment, Qin Yun was even more shocked by the strength of the Daluo Empire's royal family. Malur was so special. She could increase her mental power by 10 times, and she could easily crush the divine universe metal stone with her teeth. Her body was very strong, and she could easily travel through space. Was this the power of the Daluo Empire's royal bloodline? Then are they capturing the little lass to eradicate her completely? Asked Qin Yun. The royal family attaches great importance to their bloodline. They will never allow their royal family members to marry the middle and lower class people. Once discovered, no matter who it is, they must die. That little girl was very powerful, and it was said that her bloodline had mutated, making her even more powerful than many members of the royal family of the Daluo Empire. Thus, she had to be destroyed to prevent her precious bloodline from being passed down to the middle and lower class. Actually, we, the middle-class people, are also restricted. We are not allowed to marry the lower-class people. If we are discovered, our whole family will be exterminated, said the cat-ear man. Qin Yun looked at Tai Yin Ba and asked, Brother Ba, is there such a rule in your hometown? Tai Yin Ba had a strange look in his eyes and said, There is also such a rule. The upper, middle and lower class people are not allowed to marry each other. As for why, I don't know. So you are from the Outerverse Empire? The cat-ear man immediately concluded and said. Qin Yun suspected that Tai Yinba's background might be similar to Miller's. They were both mixed blood of different races. From this, it can be seen that the power of bloodline is very important in every universe. The royal bloodline of the Daluo Empire was very powerful. It allowed a little girl like Miller to be so powerful that she could escape the pursuit of many destroyers and escape all the way to the God Desolate. After your kingdom enters the God Desolate, will they slaughter the native races? Qin Yun asked. He has always been worried about this matter. I don't know. Maybe not. It's hard to say. After all, human nature is very complicated. The cat-ear man didn't dare to say it because he knew that the lower-class people are like ants in their eyes. Of course, Qin Yun does not count. How many people will your exotic cat kingdom send to the God Desolate? Asked Tai Yinba. The first batch is about 1 million. They are still flying in the universe. They will arrive soon, said the cat-ear man. Qin Yun was shocked. These million cat-ear men are no higher than the 9th level of the divine space realm. In their original hometown, they should be at the bottom of the hierarchy. If there are tens of thousands of them among these million cat-ear men, it will definitely bring great chaos to the God Desolate. Many of the big cities in the God Desolate will not be able to resist the powerful cat-ear men. How many are there in the 9th level of the divine space realm? Are there many? Asked Qin Yun. I'm not too sure. The 9th level of the divine space realm is relatively large in our exotic cat kingdom. The cat-ear man said. The first batch has 1 million, the second batch should have 2 million, and there will be more after that. At least 200 million cat-ear men will come to the God Desolate. At least 200 million cat-ear men. Qin Yun felt a headache when he heard that. This would definitely cause a huge change in the God Desolate. It must be known that although these cat-eared people were very useless in the exotic cat kingdom, they were born with the divine universe bone. The natives and living beings in the God Desolate could not resist them at all. Furthermore, other than the exotic cat kingdom, there were a few other kingdoms. Their numbers were definitely not small. Of course, the God Desolate was huge. Even if it could accommodate billions of people, it would not seem crowded. The most terrifying thing was that the God Desolate was still growing. It would really become a super huge heaven and earth in the future. The God Desolate is very big. Spatial teleportation is limited. The native living beings can still survive if they are scattered. The cat-ear man said, What's more, our kingdoms came to the God Desolate for resources. When the time comes, the ones who can compete with us for resources will be the other kingdoms. You mean to say that the kingdoms will fight to the bitter end? But at the same time build the great Luo Empire's imperial palace? Asked Qin Yun. Although we will build the great Luo Empire's imperial palace together, it will not stop us from fighting elsewhere. The cat-ear man said, Yesterday, a few of our kingdoms worked together to do something for the empire. After we are done, we will fight to the death tomorrow. This is normal. Chapter 3047. A complete copy update, the latest chapter of the 9 Sons Divine King, as soon as possible. The great Luo Empire wasn't afraid of those kingdoms allying together. However, if they acted friendly, the great Luo Empire would be displeased and think that they were allying together to rebel against the great Luo Empire. As long as the Daluo Empire existed, it would be impossible for those kingdoms to unite. Furthermore, they would have to hate each other. That way, they wouldn't be destroyed by the Daluo Empire. Qin Yun thought about it for a moment and knew that the great Luo Empire would not let those kingdoms live in peace. If there was a need, the great Luo Empire could easily unite those kingdoms. To the upper echelons of the Daluo Empire, this kind of control gave them a sense of accomplishment. The other kingdoms were angry with the Daluo Empire, but they didn't dare to say anything. The Divine Desolate will be thrown into chaos by your kingdoms. As a result, You won't be able to obtain too many resources in the Divine Desolate. In the end, the one who benefits the most is still the Empire, said Qin Yun. The cat-eared man didn't say anything. Of course, he knew what the higher-ups of the Empire were thinking. Have you never thought of joining forces? Asked Qin Yun. The cat-eared person remained silent. Of course they had thought about it before, but they had never dared to do it, much less say it out loud. If word of it got out, it would be considered treason. Ba Tian said, "It looks like those kingdoms will definitely try to rope in the strong races of the Divine Wilderness after entering the Divine Wilderness. The Divine Desolate's native strong races have large amounts of resources. If the kingdom can rope in the strong races, they can let the strong races participate in the war. This is what the Daluo Empire wants to see the most." The attitude of the Daluo Empire was clear. The death of countless people in this universe was something that the Daluo Empire would be happy about. As long as the upper echelons of the Daluo Empire did not die, it would be fine. If any living being or celestial body in the universe perished, the energy would return to the universe. Even if the energy was absorbed by the middle and lower classes, the middle and lower classes would still perish in the future, and the energy would return to the universe again. If one wanted to possess the power of an upper-class person, they would need to gather a huge amount of energy from the universe. There was a limit to the energy in the universe. If a large number of upper echelons appeared, then the resources would definitely not be enough. If the Daluo Empire didn't have enough resources, and if there were other foreigners with similar strength, then the Daluo Empire would be in danger. How could it be so easy to break through the restrictions of this universe? It was already very difficult for people in the middle to rush up, let alone people in the lower ranks who had to cross 2 levels. However, the 9-yang Dharma spirit was able to create a high-grade environment like the Heaven's Divine Desolate. Now, Qin Yun increasingly felt that the 9-yang Dharma spirit was very powerful. Do you know where the Great Divine Lord is? I must exterminate this bastard. Qin Yun asked. He's now loyal to our exotic cat kingdom. This guy is a little special. He has a celestial divine son in his body, and we want to study it. That's why we gave him good treatment. The cat said, "If you want to kill him, you will have to go to the exotic cat kingdom's exotic cat royal city in the Deity Desolate." "Can anyone enter?" asked Qin Yun. "Apart from us, the cat-eared people, who can enter and leave freely, anyone else will have to obtain permission to enter. It will be very difficult for you people to enter." The cat-eared person shook her head. "Take us to the strange cat royal city." Qin Yun had already decided to end the Great Divine Lord now. Great Divine Lord, this bastard, if he didn't get rid of him quickly, if he used the Heavenly Universe Divine Son's heart well, the consequences would be unimaginable. The cat-eared person could only bring Qin Yun and Tyrant Ba to exotic Cat King City. If he didn't, he would be tortured. In a secret conference hall in the ancient Garden City, many elders and clan leaders of the heaven-splitting ancient clan had gathered to discuss important matters. The 7 great kingdoms have arrived one after another. You ancient clans patriarch sighed. "We can't control Deity Desolate. 9 Sun Law Spirit has reached an agreement with them to let them enter Deity Desolate and obtain its resources." Dragon Ancient Clan's patriarch said. "Then will they start a massacre in Deity Desolate?" Taiwei Granny said with frown. "I don't know. In short, Deity Desolate is about to undergo a great change. This land is no longer our paradise. Great Luo Empire will occupy it forever. Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan's patriarch is very unwilling. They won't even let our deity Heaven's Divine Moon go. They want to build a city in deity Heaven's Divine Moon." Yulifan hastily asked, "Then what about Uxian? Did they request to enter Moon Core?" Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan's patriarch shook his head. "Entering Moon Core is not something we can decide. That's Little Law Spirit's decision. Little Law Spirit definitely won't agree to it. Great Luo Empire knows that too, so they don't plan to enter Moon Core for now. But it's hard to say in the future. Then what will our heaven-splitting ancient clan do? Xiao Qihong asked. Great Luo Empire did not pursue our wrongdoings. They even praised us for our diligent efforts in destroying large numbers of divine sons over the years. They even want to reward us by allowing us to establish a kingdom and allow us to enter the middle level, but there's a condition. Xiao Qihong looked at everyone and said. Only the patriarch attended the meeting hosted by Great Luo Empire. The other heaven-opening ancient clan elders only found out about the meeting now. Many heaven-opening ancient clan elders were excited to know that they could enter the middle level. But they quickly calmed down. Great Luo Empire had a condition, and it was definitely not simple. What condition? Xiao Qihong asked. It won't cost us too much, right? The first condition is that we must keep our distance from Nine Sun Law Spirit. We must not help Nine Sun Law Spirit fight against Great Luo Empire. The second condition is that we must hand over a portion of the Divine Universe Goldstones we obtain from the Divine Wilderness to the Great Luo Empire. The third condition is that we must capture a little girl and hand her over to the Great Luo Empire. They will inform us of any information about this little girl. The fourth condition is also the last condition. Qin clan elder sighed but did not say it out loud. It was clearly difficult. What's the fourth condition? Xiao Hong asked. We must capture Qin Yun and hand him over to the Great Luo Empire. The Great Luo Empire did not ask us to capture Qin Yun and hand him over to them within a certain period of time. They only want us to agree that once we capture Qin Yun, we must hand him over to the Great Luo Empire, Qin clan elder said. The heaven-opening ancient clan elders looked at each other and frowned. They could accept the first few conditions, but the last one was a little difficult for them. Qin Yun was recognized by Nine Sun Law Spirit, which took good care of the heaven-opening ancient clan. Nine Sun Law Spirit had helped the heaven-opening ancient clan return from the Outerverse. But now, they wanted to capture Qin Yun and hand him over to the Great Luo Empire. Wasn't that ungrateful? Furthermore, Xiao Qihong was Qin Yun's master. There were also a few other heaven-opening ancient clan elders who had a good relationship with Qin Yun. Chapter 3048. A complete copy update, the latest chapter of the Nine Sons Divine King, as soon as possible. Patriarch Qin said, I think very highly of Qin Yun. Therefore, this condition puts us in a difficult position. What if we agree? Xiao Qihong asked. It doesn't matter if we don't agree. We won't be able to establish a kingdom, and we won't be able to break through the rank. Qin family head said. Nine Sun Law Spirit told us to take good care of Qin Yun. We cannot be ungrateful, the Dragon Clan leader said. The other clan leaders nodded repeatedly. Although capturing Qin Yun would allow them to obtain great benefits, it would also betray the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit. Keeping a distance from the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit and not helping the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit against the Daluo Empire was nothing, as the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit had never expected the Heaven-Splitting Clan to fight against the Daluo Empire. At that moment, the elders of the Heaven-Splitting Clan were in a difficult position. There was an opportunity right before their eyes that could allow them to survive the Great Change. Moreover, after the Great Change, they could undergo a new transformation and break through the rank. They could become members of the middle class and not be suppressed by the Daluo Empire. Just as they were feeling helpless, a voice suddenly entered the secret meeting room. I am the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit. Agree to the Daluo Empire's 4 conditions. The Great Luo Empire only asked you to capture Qin Yun. They didn't tell you when to capture Qin Yun. This means that the Great Luo Empire only told you not to protect Qin Yun, the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit said. Fa Ling, why did you abandon Qin Yun? Asked Patriarch Qin in astonishment. There's no need to give up. Qin Yun is not as weak as you think. Just keep your distance from him in the future. Also, I'll tell him about this so that he won't hate you. If you were to be hated by this brat, you will be out of luck." Nine Young Law Spirit laughed and said. Many of the seniors of the ancient heaven-splitting clan did not believe it, but they recalled how Wang Mingtai had died. He had indeed been tortured by Qin Yun. For Qin Yun to be chosen by the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit, he must have obtained some kind of inheritance from the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit. He might even be very powerful. Fa Ling, what will happen to God's desolate in the future? Will a large number of powerful races die tragically? Dragon Clan Chief asked. I will try my best to have the other strong races merge into your kingdom. The Nine Yang Dharma Spirit said, no matter what, all of you are representing the divine wilderness. Perhaps you can minimize the casualties of the divine wilderness. What about the Nine Sun Sacred Ground? Are we still going to defend the Nine Sun Sacred Ground? The Yang clan leader asked. There's no need to defend anymore. Move the sects away. I want to close the Nine Sun Sacred Grounds barrier. The Nine Yang Law Spirits said. Next, the matter of resisting the barbarians from the outer universe will be handed over to the kingdom and the Daluo Empire. You all just have to grow in peace. The seniors of the heaven-splitting ancient clan exclaimed. The barbarians from the outer universe were extremely terrifying, and there might even be people who surpassed the 9th tier of the divine space realm, who broke through the restrictions and entered through the passageway. At that time, it would be dangerous. Don't worry. The Daluo Empire and the other kingdoms will be able to hold them off. There are so many divine universe goldstones in the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. They will go in even if they have to risk their lives, said the Nine Sun Dharma Spirit with a smile. What about inside the myriad worlds divine yang? Will the Luo Empire interfere? Yu clan leader was a little worried. They don't dare. This is my bottom line. If they don't have absolute confidence, they won't dare to fight me to the death. The ancient garden city will remain within the 7th divine sun. You can enter at any time and interact with the other Outerverse members, the Dharma Spirit said. Dharma Spirit, should we give Qin Yun a little more help at this time? Xiao Qihong asked. For example, give him a lot of divine universe goldstones. This kid seems to be lacking divine universe goldstones. The Dharma Spirit smiled. There's no need to give it to him. Let him think of a way to get it himself. Don't worry about him. I'm not even worried about him, so why are you so anxious? Everyone is somewhat speechless. It is said that Qin Yun is acknowledged by the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit. Now, it seems that Qin Yun is just a wild child in the eyes of the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit. It is indifferent to Qin Yun, completely letting him be. Then, can our clan's girls get in touch with this kid? Yu clan leader asked embarrassedly because Imperial Demon Yao and Qin Yun had a good relationship. Moreover, they could not guarantee that Qin Yun would not get involved with the women of the heaven-splitting ancient clan in the future. Ha ha, you should ask the Daluo Empire. Why are you asking me? The Dharma Spirit said with mischievous laugh. This kid Qin Yun has a very good affinity with women. It won't be strange if he gets involved with your heaven-splitting ancient clan's girls in the future. Not to mention your heaven-splitting ancient clan, maybe even the imperial family's girls of the Daluo Empire will be taken care of by him. Many of the elders of the heaven-splitting ancient clan became speechless again. The Dharma Spirit said again, I have been keeping an eye on this kid Qin Yun since he was born. I did not give him much help. I only gave him a very mystical appearance to make it easier for him to conquer women. Everyone became speechless again. They suddenly felt that it is necessary to keep an eye on the girls of their clan so that they won't be harmed by Qin Yun. Dharma Spirit, is this the only help you gave Qin Yun? Dragon Clan leader does not believe it. Isn't this enough? He relied on his face to conquer the Nine Sun Divine Maiden. She has been helping him grow for many years, otherwise how could he be so good? The Dharma Spirit said with smile. Xiao Yuelan and Xiao Yueme are both Nine Sun Divine Maiden. Their potential is very great. In the future, they will surely step into the upper echelons. Alright, you all agree to Great Luo Empire's conditions and peacefully build up your kingdom. You don't need to worry about Divine Desolate for now, properly grow up. The Dharma spirit said in a very relaxed manner. The meeting ended, all the clan leaders left for deep space to meet Great Luo Empire's emissary. Qin Yun and Ba Taiyin followed behind the cat-eared man and flew towards Strange Cat Royal City. Suddenly, Nine Sun Dharma Spirit's voice appeared in Qin Yun's mind. "Brat, you are in big trouble," the Dharma Spirit said with sigh. "What big trouble? Don't scare me." Qin Yun suddenly stopped and floated in the air. "You have been targeted by Great Luo Empire," the Dharma Spirit said. Soon after, it told Qin Yun about the 4 conditions of the heaven-splitting ancient clan. After Qin Yun learned about the meeting, he immediately felt deep veneration for the heaven-splitting ancient clan. Originally, they did not want to agree to the 4th condition of Great Luo Empire. "I made them agree, don't hate them," the Dharma Spirit said. "I don't hate, if it were me, I would also make them agree." Qin Yun said with smile. "Don't talk about them, even Great Luo Empire can forget about catching me. Brat Qin, you will have to rely on yourself from now on. You must not return to the Divine Sun, you won't be able to go in. I can't let you go in, you will harm the 9 Sun Divine Maiden," the Dharma Spirit said. "I know." Qin Yun also made this kind of preparation. Yu Yun also sensed it, that's why she followed him out. "I have a way to help you get through this crisis," the Dharma Spirit said. Chapter 3049. Qin Yun thought that the 9 Yang Law Spirit would no longer contact him. He never expected that it would suddenly contact him at this time and tell him such an important matter. 9 Yang Law Spirit, I heard that the Great Luo Empire has been monitoring your movement. They want to know if you want to pass your cultivation to me. Qin Yun reminded the 9 Yang Law Spirit. "I know, I told you before the reason why I didn't contact you." The 9 Yang Law Spirit chuckled and said, "You know that the Great Luo Empire is monitoring my movements. It seems that you understand the current situation quite a bit." "I just happen to know a little bit. I don't know the specifics." Qin Yun continued flying and followed the cat-eared man towards the strange Cat King city with Ba Taiyin. The 9 Yang Law Spirits seemed to know where Qin Yun was going and asked, "Are you heading towards the strange Cat King city?" "Yes, what's wrong?" Qin Yun asked. "The great divine lord is in the strange Cat King city. Are you going to find him?" The 9 Yang Law Spirit laughed. "Are you so determined to kill the great divine lord? If I don't eliminate this guy, he will cause me a lot of trouble in the future because he understands me better and the Great Luo Empire has their eyes on me." Qin Yun said. If the Great Luo Empire wanted to capture Qin Yun, the Great Divine Lord would definitely come up with a plan. Maybe he would even be personally responsible. The Great Divine Lord knew that the Law Enforcement Realm King was loyal to Qin Yun. He could even see that the Sun En race, Moon Season City and the Heaven Secrets sect were all somewhat strange. If he wanted to attack Qin Yun in the future, he would definitely attack from the Law Enforcement Realm and the Heaven Secrets sect. The Moon Season City had already been destroyed by the Great Divine Lord's instigation, cutting off the source of Qin Yun's Divine Universe Golden Stone. "I said before that I have a way to help you survive this crisis," the 9 Yang Law Spirit said, "but I can't tell you directly. I'm afraid that it will be leaked." "Then how are you going to tell me?" Qin Yun asked. The 9 Yang Law Spirit also wanted to ensure that nothing went wrong, so he could not directly tell Qin Yun to prevent others from eavesdropping. The communication between the 9 Yang Law Spirit and Qin Yun should be through spatial transmission. Now, the Divine Desolate Space is controlled by the Great Luo Empire, so the Great Luo Empire definitely has a way to eavesdrop. Stay where you are and release the 9 Yang Heaven-Raising Pagoda. I'll send someone to find you, the 9 Yun said. Qin Yun greeted Ba Taiyin, then landed on the ground and took out the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda. After the 9-sun sky-raising pagoda appeared, a beam of light shot out from the top of the pagoda from time to time. That was probably a signal. Qin Yun and Tying Ba landed at the top of the pagoda. The cat-eared man did not know what Qin Yun wanted to do. Qin Yun waited for a long time. It took an entire day and night before he sensed someone approaching. Ba Tain's mental power is stronger, so he sensed it earlier than Qin Yun. "Mr. Qin, the man isn't very strong," Ba Tain said. "He should be one of us. I am waiting for him," Qin Yun said. Battery nodded, but he did not let down his guard. It was noon and the sun was shining brightly in the sky. A middle-aged man quickly flew over. When Qin Yun saw this middle-aged man, he was very surprised. The middle-aged man was one of the elders of the Sun Dragon race that Qin Yun was very familiar with, Young Dragon Lingyu. "Elder Lingyu, long time no see, you have become very strong," Qin Yun exclaimed in admiration. Not only Young Dragon Lingyu's cultivation is high, he also has some divine universe heavenly bone in his body. The Sun Dragon race is inside the ancestral divine sun. It is very normal for them to become stronger. Moreover, they still have to fight against the descendants of the divine sun. "Little brother Qin, 9 Suns Law Spirit told me to give this to you," Young Dragon Lingyu said with smile, and handed over a letter to Qin Yun. "Elder Lingyu has worked hard," Qin Yun said with smile. "It's nothing, I still have things to do, so I'll be leaving first. Goodbye." Young Dragon Lingyu immediately left. Qin Yun opened the letter. There are many densely packed runes on it. He doesn't know what kind of runes they are. However, after Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye, he saw a large number of messy runes. All of them are white, only a few are black. Soon after, he began to rearrange those black runes and obtained many characters. The content written on it is the method that 9 Suns Law Spirit told Qin Yun to get through this crisis. It is not to let him fight against Great Luo Empire. After all, with Qin Yun's current strength, he is not Great Luo Empire's opponent. 9 Suns Law Spirit would not let him do this kind of dangerous thing. After Qin Yun finished reading the letter, he immediately burned it and cursed 9 Suns Law Spirit in his heart. Then he took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal to contact 9 Suns Law Spirit, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not contact it. The content of the letter caused Qin Yun to feel very speechless. 9 Suns Law Spirit told Qin Yun that as long as he can smoothly find that woman, he can temporarily get through this crisis. Even if Great Luo Empire makes a fierce move against him, as long as he has that woman's protection, he will be fine for the time being. What kind of method is this? You want me to sell my body? This bastard 9 Suns Law Spirit even said that my appearance is meticulously polished by it. As long as I use it a bit, I will be very attractive to women. Qin Yun doesn't believe it at all. He always believed that the reason why women like him are fond of him is because of his personal charm. It has nothing to do with his appearance. Because over the years it is not like there are no women who oppose him. There are even a few women who almost destroyed him, for example that love goddess. Could this be true? Thinking about it carefully, I seem to be quite liked by women. Qin Yun recalled his own experience. Sometimes he is not the one who takes the initiative. It is always the women who take the initiative. 9 Suns Law Spirit did not say what to do with that woman. It only told him to find that woman and then think of a way to gain her trust. That way, he can temporarily get through this crisis. Qin Yun does not feel that he will be in any danger. Great Luo Empire has their eyes on him, but it is still very difficult to find him in the Divine Desolate unless he has the help of the Great Divine King. Therefore, his next step is to find the Great Divine King and kill him. Let's go, let's continue to the strange Cat King city. Qin Yun stored away the 9 Suns heaven-raising pagoda and continued on his way. The cat-eared man was sent flying by Ba Tain and can no longer fly. It was Ba Tain who grabbed him and flew slowly. Cat-eared man, is there a Phoenix Kingdom among the 7 great kingdoms? Qin Yun asked. What is the background of the Phoenix Queen of the Phoenix Kingdom? Is she related to the great Luo Empire's imperial family? The cat-eared man is startled and said, Uncle Qin, how do you know about the Phoenix Kingdom? I don't know much. I only know that the Phoenix Queen might have some relationship with the great Luo Empire's imperial family. Qin Yun said, There is a rumor that the Phoenix Queen is the sister of the great Luo Empire's emperor. As for whether it is true or not, I am not too sure. However, the Phoenix Kingdom once fought with the great Luo Empire's army, but in the end, the Phoenix Kingdom did not suffer any punishment. This matter is quite famous, that is why people are suspicious. The cat-eared man said. Chapter 30:50. Ba Tain, who was flying while holding the cat-eared man, said in surprise, A kingdom fighting against an empire and not being destroyed? With Daluo Empire's power, it would be easy to flatten a kingdom. Tain Ba came from the Great Blue Empire, so he knew the empire's power very well. Qin Yun felt that these empires should not exist, but the divine court of myriad worlds led by the 9 Yang Dharma spirit. This was a more civilized way of management, but the divine court of myriad worlds was too weak. That's why Phoenix Kingdom's Phoenix Queen has a mysterious background. That's why there are rumors that she is related to Daluo Celestial Emperor. There are also rumors that Phoenix Queen and Daluo Celestial Emperor are half-siblings. Phoenix Queen's mother is of the lower middle class. This made Tain Ba even more shocked. Empire's royalty could not marry people of other levels. If such a thing happened, they would be tortured to death. For example, Maluru's parents were tortured, and even Maluru's parents were taken back by her. Phoenix Queen had the Daluo royal bloodline. Not only was she fine, she even became the queen of a kingdom. Daluo Celestial Emperor's father was the previous Celestial Emperor of Daluo Empire. He abdicated for some unknown reason. Qin Yun found it strange. How did the 9 Yang Dharma spirit know the secrets of Daluo Empire's royalty? Why was the 9 Yang Dharma spirit so gossipy? It actually knew about the faraway Daluo Empire. Qin Yun did not know why the 9 Yang Dharma spirit wanted to seek Phoenix Queen's trust. But from the letter, he could tell that the 9 Yang Dharma spirit wanted him to sell his body and become Phoenix Queen's man. Taisher had recently been researching the Yu clan heavenly talisman. Xiao Qihong had given Qin Yun the entire set of Yu clan heavenly talismans. Qin Yun counted the divine universe goldstones he had. It was about 700 billion, enough for him to hide and grow wretchedly. So he felt that the 9 Yang Dharma spirit's method was useless. He had already decided not to woo Phoenix Queen. After all, he was the godly king of divine wilderness. He should have some dignity. If he really lived under Phoenix Queen's skirt, he would be laughed at by Daluo Empire. Qin Yun now knew how difficult it was to be a godly king. If he did not trample on those kingdoms and Daluo Empire, he would not be able to bring the myriad world's divine court to greater heights. He would become a joke. Maybe even the 9 Yang Dharma spirit would be sealed by Daluo Empire. Is the Phoenix Queen beautiful? Does she look young and beautiful? Qin Yun suddenly asked. He didn't have any other thoughts. He just wanted to know if the 9 Yang Dharma spirit was tricking him, making him chase after an unsightly, strange-looking old queen. The number 1 beauty of the Origin Luo Empire is Princess Luo Shu, the most beloved daughter of the Origin Luo Celestial Emperor. She and her eldest son were the Celestial Emperor's left and right arms. According to the rumors, the Phoenix Queen is even more beautiful than Princess Luo Shu, said the cat. Qin Yun felt disdain in his heart. In his eyes, no matter how beautiful she was only on the same level as his women. His women all had their own beauty. Those are just legends, said Qin Yun. This matter has spread far and wide within the Daluo Empire. However, nothing has happened to the Phoenix Queen, the princess of the White Jade Kingdom, just because someone said that she was very beautiful and could be compared to Princess Luo Shu. The princess of the White Jade Kingdom was disfigured on the 10th day of this rumor. She was poisoned and her entire body turned black. She was originally the most beautiful princess of the 7 kingdoms, but in the end she became the ugliest. This is not a special case. My exotic cat kingdom, eagle kingdom, heavenly horn kingdom, all of them had similar things happen before. It was all the kingdom's royal family members that suffered the calamity, said the cat. Tai Yinba frowned and said, "This is all done by that Princess Luo Shu?" The cat shook his head and said, "It shouldn't be done by the princess. Someone in the empire is protecting the princess' reputation as the #1 beauty of the empire. However, there are rumors that the Phoenix Queen is more beautiful than Princess Luo Shu, yet she is completely fine. So the #1 beauty of the origin Luo Empire is obtained through fists." Qin Yun chuckled and said, "Looks like that Princess Luo Shu is only SOSO. The cat did not say anything. In his opinion, although this Master Qin is capable, he is just a speck of dust in front of the origin Luo Empire. Not to mention Qin Yun, even the 10 peak experts of the exotic cat kingdom would die miserably in front of the origin Luo Empire." Qin Yun is somewhat puzzled. Why did the 9 Yang Dharma spirit want him to flirt with the Phoenix Queen? The Phoenix Queen should be very strong, but she can't come to the divine wilderness. Only those at the 9th level of the divine space realm can come to the divine wilderness. Could it be that the Phoenix Queen is using other methods to come to the divine wilderness? Using avatars or something? If that is the case, then the Phoenix Queen might really be able to make a name for herself in the divine wilderness. The Phoenix Queen is not afraid of the origin Luo Empire's suppression, but the other kingdoms are rather apprehensive of the Phoenix Queen. If the Phoenix Queen personally came to the divine wilderness battlefield, the other kingdoms would definitely not be a match for her. It looks like the Phoenix Queen is really a golden coattail. Should I hug her coattail or not? Forget it, I'm a dignified godly king, I still need some dignity. Qin Yun thought to himself, but then again, the coattails of strong women are really comfortable. For example, Sister Shang Yun, Yuelon and the others. Their coattails are all very beautiful. 7 kingdoms, there are the Phoenix Kingdom, Exotic Cat Kingdom, Eagle Kingdom, Heaven Horn Kingdom and White Jade Kingdom. What about the other 2? Asked Qin Yun. The other 2 are the Giant Heavenly King Kingdom and the Scorpio Kingdom. The people of the Phoenix Kingdom look the same as you, Master Qin. The people of the Exotic Cat Kingdom have cat ears and a cat tail. The people of the Eagle Kingdom have a pair of eagle wings on their back. The people of the Heaven Horn Kingdom have a small horn on their forehead. The people of the Giant Heavenly King Kingdom are giant. The people of the Scorpio Kingdom have a human upper body and a scorpion lower body. The people of the White Jade Kingdom have skin that is like white jade. Why does it sound like the people of these kingdoms, other than the Phoenix Kingdom, are all strange? Asked Qin Yun. Other than the special case of the Phoenix Kingdom, the other normal people of the middle class have been eliminated by the origin Luo Empire. A portion of them either flowed into the Phoenix Kingdom or became slaves of the origin Luo Empire. Of course, the people of the origin Luo Empire are also normal people, said the cat-eared person. This made Qin Yun recall the divine wilderness of the past. There was also the difference between humans and non-humans. Now those kingdoms also called themselves humans. The people of the origin Luo Empire were also normal people. Why is the origin Luo Empire doing this? Asked Qin Yun. It should be to deliberately create a racial difference between the kingdoms and the empires. It is to prevent the empire's bloodline from fusing with the kingdom's bloodline. Tainba said, "This is because it is difficult for different races to reproduce even if they intermarry." Tainba, who came from the Great Blue Empire, knew the reason. It was obvious that the blue universe did the same. Chapter 30:51. Qin Yun thought of Malheur. She had white cat ears. The cat-eared people he had seen before all had black cat ears and black tails. Do the cat-eared people of your exotic cat kingdom have black cat ears for men and black cat ears for women? Asked Qin Yun. Both men and women have black cat ears. If there are other colors, it's most likely due to a mutation caused by the bloodline of another race, said the cat-eared person. Are there cat-eared people of other colors in your exotic cat kingdom? For example, those with white cat ears. Qin Yun said, if there are, wouldn't they be treated as outliers? Of course, but there are very few outliers with white cat ears. Most of them are gray or light blue. The one who appeared with white cat ears was the little girl that the great Luo Empire wanted to capture. The cat-eared person said in a low voice, regarding this little girl, she is very famous in our exotic cat kingdom. Tell me about it. Qin Yun said, this little girl is now in the gods' desolate. In other words, the one who sees white cat ears in the future will definitely be her, right? The cat-eared person said, I can't be sure. I only know that the little girl is the only one with white cat ears in many years. She has the bloodline of the great Luo imperial family in her body, so she became very strong and grasped shocking abilities. In the beginning, no one knew of her background. She was in a small sect called the Golden Universe sect. Because of her white cat ears, she was treated as an outlier. Everyone ostracized her. However, because they discovered that she had a special ability that allowed her to quickly find Divine Universe Goldstone, they used her until the Destroyer came knocking on their door. The Destroyer is so strong. What is the strength of that little girl? She wasn't captured by the Destroyer? Asked Qin Yun. That's what's special about that little girl. It's said that there were several Destroyers back then. Those who could become Destroyers were all extraordinarily strong. Although that little girl has the bloodline of the imperial family, she hasn't been able to obtain resources for many years. Her strength should be very weak, but she escaped. The cat-eared person sighed. Did the Destroyer deliberately go easy on her? Asked Qin Yun. The cat-eared person shook her head and said, no, those Destroyers were eventually sentenced to death by the great Luo Empire. They definitely wouldn't go easy on her. I heard that those Destroyers were the elites of the elite. In the future, the mission of finding that little girl will fall on the heads of the Seven Kingdoms. When the Zenith Luo Emperor Palace in the Divine Wilderness is finished, the people from the Zenith Luo Empire will come to look for that girl. Qin Yun was even more surprised. Malheur was so important, which meant that this matter was definitely not simple. This made Qin Yun want to nurture Malheur and dig out her powerful potential. This made him even more determined. Of her. After Malheur became strong, she would no longer have to fear the destroyer of the Daluo Empire. The Daluo Empire wanted to capture her because of her powerful bloodline, which could threaten the Daluo Empire. After flying for 3 days straight, they finally neared the exotic cat royal city. In the distance they could see the massive city walls and skyscrapers. Ling the city. The city for Ling King City was not. And Yun. The city. King City the city was. The Li Ling 4. Only a small part of the city wall had been built, and the rest was still being built. It was evening. As Qin Yun and the others approached the city, they saw many strong people. Their bodies were covered with scars and their hands and feet were shackled. They were carrying boulders and flying to build the city walls. The boulders they carried were as big as beds. They were slowly flying and mixed with some special sticky materials to build the city walls. These people were obviously natives of the Divine Desolate. Some of them were not even at the Divine Space Realm, but a few were. But in front of the powerful cat-eared person, they were very weak and were reduced to slaves. These people were humans who were born after the desolate god of the heavens was formed. The races that these humans belonged to had their bloodlines strengthened by the myriad worlds divine Sunday. Therefore, after they were born, they didn't need to cultivate much. Their cultivation level was very high, directly reaching the level of Heavenly Lord. A few of them were born in the divine space realm. But even so, they were still too weak compared to the upper echelons. In the mysterious cat kingdom, there were many people who were born in the 5th or 6th layer of the divine space realm. For example, in the Great Blue Empire, those who didn't surpass the 9th layer of the divine space realm were regarded as trash. The humans of the divine desolate were completely behind the starting line when they were still in their mother's womb. The cat-eared person was a supervisor. If they saw someone slow down, they would ruthlessly lash them with their red-hot iron whip. This infuriated Qin Yun. In the evening, the enslaved humans could finally rest for a short while. And during the rest, a group of teenagers were forced to take over the work of building the mysterious Cat Kingdom city. There were young, middle-aged and old people enslaved. There were tens of thousands of them. And there were tens of thousands of teenagers. Even some middle-aged women and old women had 20 to 30,000. And the younger women were even more humiliated by the cat-eared people. The cat-eared people didn't rape them because they were afraid that the bloodline of the middle class would be passed down and they would be hunted down by the empire. But they liked to beat young women. Even some young girls were cruelly abused by them. Qin Yun hovered in the air and saw this scene. He was so angry that his chest almost exploded. In his anger, he could only beat the cat-eared person next to him. When the cat-eared person saw this scene, he knew that he was finished. It is unknown what secret technique he used to make his soul self-destruct. Strange Cat Kingdom, I, Qin Yun, will never forgive you. Qin Yun suppressed the anger in his heart. It is useless for him to be angry now. There are many 9th-level divine space realm experts in Strange Cat Kingdom City. With Tain's own strength, he would definitely not be able to defeat them. Brother Ba, I must rescue the people of Divine Desolate, Qin Yun said. This might require a risk. Are you willing to take the risk with me? Tain is very clear that if he wanted to sneak into Strange Cat Kingdom City and kill the great Divine King, it would definitely not be a problem. However, to rescue so many enslaved people of Divine Desolate is very difficult. He can't think of any possibility. Tain only nodded and said, I will listen to you. Even if I have to risk my life, I will definitely help you. No need to risk your life. Qin Yun took out a jade box. After opening the box, Tain can't help but tremble. Tain just thought that it was impossible to rescue the enslaved people of Divine Desolate, but now he thinks it is possible. The box in Qin Yun's hand has 2 insect nests. They are the golden poisonous insects that poison Tain and Li Qianqin. The 2 poisonous insects are dead, but the insect nests are still in Qin Yun's hands. Brother Ba, do you think the cat-eared people can deal with these poisonous insects? Qin Yun asked. We can't, let alone them. Tain doubtfully said. Boss, there are not many insect eggs, but there are many 9th-level divine space realm cat-eared people. Is it enough? Chapter 3052. Poison is the hardest to come. 9 Ru pellets dare to go heavy come. Yao Chuwei use his cloud to let the internal poison very quickly. To fill one's face with dread high no service home. Worm was startled. Even if a man were to change his ways, he would still be able to come out of it. Now he was a little weaker. Seed, your wife is a. Shu Wang, I'll be right back. The layer of inner space is filled with a seal, but Wang Sholi only boxed this Ba. Inside there is a pattern of Ba. Qin is a probe, egg some test help to release the day is a worm short box line. And so on the higher-ups had given orders. Being enraged, the liquid came from the sky, the worm. People only the strong is the master, feeding the inner gold of the wind point into the Taijin is also 2 cats, small as a cat but help will bestow but the help of the human ba is very beginning, the blood of the Taijin realm. Yunjiu of the Fan family. Check there is, will you put 9 boxes layer vary this slave point poison, cat, later also into the horse enemy looking for attack pulse horse, meet speed and heavenly mark blood Qin long put. Yes, this time, drill also went up to deceive him. By his internal blood was consumed by a single thought. Zi Suin, heaven wants, pattern Suin, yes box. Hit by Qin Ganzhong, release him to the death of the poison crispy 9, but his blood sun is like a multitude of insects, a deity to bring to. It was only after the realm elder died that he did not manage to obtain the secret markings in his heart. The cloud is measured by an insect. Some blood was spilled. Incompetent, the problem lies in the threesome. If he could catch some, he could make the rest. Who needs people in the ministry? Pulse no Injin, Baji Bien is not a needle piercing the ear by the poison pattern King said. Another Bach. The person is small, the pulse of the cat lifespan poison Qin Liyun is strong in the central part of the city, the poison enters the ear of the city, the 5 pests are in the white cat with the worm Chu people have, only the worm to a slave, Qin Lian sends the poison seed 3 people here, the poison should be more thorough in the inside, afraid of the side poison? Box, this obtained and thought of the whisker worm, the body, the worm divided to serve the intention cloud. Those who lacked assistance. Needle piercing he came to Blood City. The blood division swallowed and played with the cloud poison. If you get too excited, your insides will be filled with whiteness. Too much of the root, the Tao at this time strong seed, to change the heaven, that Feng Fei is very much a crazy amount of good experience, so the flesh pearl to the root of that person is like a vegetable. Enter the layer of terror layer heaven, lay eggs, and come again. That needs to be poured like a cat, but less internal anesthesia quickly white. Step by step, use the realm. As soon as he entered the heavens, he would be too, even if he planted a poisonous fruit, how could it be small? Beads derived from the veins of the beads are very fertile. Venom, 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 venom. However, Buddho and Shurjunyi could not be compared. They were only eggs. If he gave 2 to Bart, then the breeding poison Qin shouldn't be fed to Qin Yu. Qin Yu would be severely wounded. Could he? Later Lord to Queen Pai Shur poison detoxification arm brother egg appears in Qin Ma Chong Mor, enter sex pass his seed quickly take it not return his wish ability is not very different heaven scatter God cultivating insect divine object cutting insect warning only create use. Once the expedition begins, it will be too late for Matsushita. The swift venomous king bug was created by the Ji-Su's great queen with high HP and resistance. It was said that the Deva swift ant's divine rune was created. Een won't be able to do it. How can there be a line of hope for Qin? Su Mei is the universe layer Qin. The child is used as if it is already injured. Look at the force. Insects deal with 1 meat 2 fear to feed is. Just now is the beginning of the heaven cloud. Cat Qin died in the layer of blood bugs want him, but the form is very eating the same as the secret note of the step meat has blood into the ability to poison is the beginning, not the universe God is not the insect man, eating the bug is too kind of the cloud. Qin you can give some more to use the bug to create the Dan in the clan cat box people. Do want. The child needs to be beaten alive. The flying bugs are mostly Een. Yu Ben Batai Een Ho came to Een to this cloud Ba Yun to release many horses, but also to the universe god, the egg wife 8 Yang save. The ear of the cat Tian Qin, that or skin. Strange to catch, Xing Een fruit. Using to take. This is the seed after the Qin E too fleshy, Qin Wei when this difference drop, wanna one this ear to change Wang Een. He created this Qin Suji Shui Qing Huanmu because of the previous Lo Tai Cha and change. The root is to know you He Du Ma eat death poison, use step 1 another layer. Cat swallows poison. The amount can be met, also Qin will change 1-2 people Tian E quickly when this beginning is gone. The ear angry what one, you sure this pay? Heaven hand ear cat help to see the blood there are. Pulse to Qin, blood also used to, after the breeding will be short on his if the time to see this cloud is. Born he more. After the number of poison Qing Hua box 2. Using a tattoo man to get a hind egg, chasing the poison bug he increased. 9. Increase. Su Ji Shui Qin Yun. He sent a group of this white cat. Love is more than the face of the beginning of 10 to measure his layer of this dissolving 10 to. Tian. Can help people also when the Tao ear body died. Xiu's hand is willing to follow the heaven's end. Tian Ba Tian. Of Ba has already pulled his own skin. Already, the new pattern he is real into. Blood ear is not very heavy. Every small let help is only the quantity of the bug, but the quantity will not enter the heavens that this poison will see the blood come out, not to mention the gold bug, human, raised in poison, inside Qin very bug heavy without flesh strength 5 blood. The later bug God wants him to carry out the matter to enter the creation of the original infiltration people. Many have this blue inside his 9 Qin will. Before the quantity quickly came to be strong. Special you to feel after the force is. He was, the poison big into the seed. Ba Mu quietly entered the brother strong under the sun to give poison quickly. Bo, in Qin, except for the change to come to the cloud blood box, the vein is this cloud bug strong in the heavens poison sorrow scripture that 10 the most poisonous after masturbation, although the 2 blood cat wife breeding to open a vein to take the needle cloud to 2 now the cloud has to ba into the room, 2 you, the bug judge the great Qin. Huang ho into the ear vein out of poison, 1 Tai Fa people suffer. Nong Yun, ear, is the proliferation of strength numb, the square is not, in order to open a skin man not to die in the suffering really small this. Measure. Root crazy to 1 is the cloud person's new pagoda, pearl cloud carrying the bug is very poisonous to see. Pour out blood into this new good meeting can be in the strength to ask for people too, although he has enough needles and 2 people out of more than 10 bugs do not disturb the body, but to come to his Qin black blood cat old said 9 lines to the child in the light gold. Also, make Qin poison what can give the bug, some of this 100. Qin I drill that has always been poisonous, the test is in the bug out of the human, go here. Return some because of the 2 clouds. Very after this pearl heavenly God, come 2 to use into the special success. Come to the human poison department cannot do, 1, small ear chang shui will help, small powder is very strong and the seal is heavy to go, the quantity and machine 2 boxes take people back to the blood heaven, transport to the heavens blood vein to the heavens poison. Say ear. Send to Qin sure pain drill to want to solve, but the heart is small is 2 blood bug egg to see the pattern. Flesh is a poison he. Yang's cloud block uses the God to come to the wrong. Plant into the divine traversing pagoda black. Devour the flesh and the law. Poison small few in the department, Gongfang plus Qin Dingyin, the cloud for the bug spirit vein too. But the blood bug put the box. The realm is not right, the cloud vein poison Qing Ho, the tattoo goes to his worm realm. The realm pattern helps the root, poison, this nature is all big pattern through the earth to return the force. My wife Fei Wang is right. Black wasteland. Tao pagoda fast this strange advance. Qin Jiu can, such as the use of the universe, Qi Zi to go to a box god creation cat. Du Tianer has this flesh quick appearance to raise the god nose to come out of things, the human network is strong under the 100 flying division, the cat person. Small out of the pulse can my cloud vein to open the heavens today, all to the Tai bug many li, the soil has arrived to the first really cheap cat, small can understand, the sun appears, Ba will not complain to the cloud and so on, move the blood only. Is this poison one such as out of the box before the lead to the beginning? The heart is, the wailing bug comes but heavy. Qin this also let him very root law to change very blood injury to tell some of his credibility. Do wrong brother to go all out, very, the seed egg, all the cloud god to the blood will be too. Sit still, pregnant. Everyone is out of the 8 huba. Chapter 3053. In order to make the little poisonous bug stronger, Qin Yun used 20 billion Divine Universe Golden Stones and converted them into energy through the Divine King Heavenly Seal for the little poisonous bug to absorb. This kind of poisonous bug could only be made on a small scale. If he wanted to make a lot of them, even 100 billion Divine Universe Golden Stones wouldn't be enough. Moreover, the bug beads were coated with a layer of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone Water to increase the strength of the beads so that they wouldn't be destroyed when they flew over. This cost Qin Yun another 15 gene of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone. Fortunately, these Divine Universe Heavenly Bones came from the cat-eared people. Qin Yun made these poisonous bugs mainly to deal with dozens of 9th-level Divine Universe Realm cat-eared people, but it cost him a lot. Of course, 20 billion was nothing to Qin Yun. He had more than 700 billion in his hands. Moreover, if he could kill a lot of cat-eared people and obtain Divine Universe Heavenly Bones from them, then it wouldn't be a loss. Divine Desolate was very big. Even if powerful external forces came, as long as they didn't oppress the native life forms, then the native life forms wouldn't be affected too much. But now, cat-eared people came to Divine Desolate to plunder Divine Universe Golden Stones, but they actually enslaved and abused the people of Divine Desolate. This was the conflict between races. How could Qin Yun, as a Divine Desolate person, sit back and do nothing about it? Exotic Cat Kingdom, no matter where you hide in the universe, I will completely destroy you. Qin Yun clenched his teeth. Qin Yun had been busy for several days without rest. He was now physically and mentally exhausted. What tormented him the most was that many of his kind had been bullied, and some had even died tragically. Qin Yun forced himself to rest for 4 hours so that he could be in an excellent state. Great Divine King, Exotic Cat Kingdom, you are finished. Qin Yun looked at the exotic cat royal city that was being built in front of him. Ba Taiyin had already flown over and started to take action. He knew that the poisonous bug beads were very strong, but he didn't know what the final effect would be. After Qin Yun used invisibility technique, he flew behind Ba Taiyin. At night, Ba Taiyin entered exotic cat royal city. He had Qin Yun's invisibility talisman on him. Originally, Qin Yun planned to let Ba Taiyin assassinate the 9th-layer Divine Space Realm experts one by one. However, after killing a few, the group of cat-eared people in the 9th-layer Divine Space Realm became aware of it. Now they all grouped up, basically in groups of 10. On one floor of a well-built tall building in Strange Cat Royal City, the Great Divine Lord and a few cat-eared people at the 9th level of the Divine Space Realm were together. Yang King, aren't you the great God King of Deity Desolate? You said that the little Divine King brought people to Strange Cat King City, then quickly tell us, where is that little Divine King hiding? A cat-eared person asked. The Great Luo Empire has placed a bounty on Qin Yun's head. If we capture Qin Yun and hand him over to the Great Luo Empire, we will be rewarded handsomely. Do you think I don't want to find that bastard? Great Divine Lord sighed. That little bastard Qin Yun is really hard to deal with. Otherwise, he would have been killed by me long ago. The cat-eared man said, just what is the background of that 9th-level Divine Space Realm fellow beside him? Is it a 9th-level Divine Space Realm expert from the Empire? Great Divine Lord nodded and said, yes. This is what you cat-eared people said. Those cat-eared people were easily killed by that guy. Oh right, if it really is the 9th level of the Divine Space Realm of the Empire, can you guys deal with it? As long as we have 10 people on our side, dealing with the 9th level of the Divine Space Realm of the Empire won't be a problem. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid that it's someone sent by the Great Luo Empire to protect Qin Yun. Who knows what the Empire is up to? The cat-eared person said angrily. If the Empire has any movements, they won't even inform us. If we accidentally anger them, then only death awaits us. Great Divine Lord shook his head. The Empire probably won't protect Qin Yun. Qin Yun is a human recognized by the 9 Yang Law Spirit. Although he is still very small, since the Great Luo Empire has decided to capture him, it means that Qin Yun is a potential threat. Qin Yun is a crafty person. He might have used some kind of evil technique to control that person from the Empire. I know this very well. I have many loyal and devoted subordinates. They have all betrayed me and helped Qin Yun fight against me. It's all because Qin Yun used evil arts to confuse them. Loyal and devoted subordinates? There was no one under the great divine lord who didn't hate him. The emperor of the Sun Moon tribe, Yu Xieji, and the Heaven Secrets sect leader, who had been killed by Qin Yun, all hated the great divine lord to death. That person from the empire hasn't come over during this period of time. He only captured a few people at the 8th level of the divine space realm. After we, the 9th level of the divine space realm, gathered together, he didn't dare to come. The cat-eared person laughed. This way we can wait for reinforcements to arrive. What's wrong with your strange cat kingdom? To actually be forced to such a state by Qin Yun, a fellow at the 2nd or 3rd level of the divine space realm. Great divine lord said disdainfully, you are all at the 9th level of the divine space realm. King Yang, it's not that I look down on you, but in our eyes, you are far inferior to Qin Yun, this little divine king. How exactly are you the great divine king? The cat-eared person mocked. There's nothing I can do. The 9 Yang Law Spirit takes care of Qin Yun. Great divine lord snorted. Actually, he had received a lot of care as well. It was just that he did not use it well, which was why he was inferior to Qin Yun. In addition, he did not complete many of the tasks that the 9 Yang Law Spirit had entrusted to him. Ba Taiyin entered the city to search for people at the 9th level of the divine space realm, while Qin Yun was outside to save the people of the divine desolate. The people of the divine desolate were enslaved and were forced to work at night. Those people of the divine desolate were very tired and were currently sitting on the ground, eating some of the junk food that the cat-eared person gave them. The cat-eared person who was in charge of watching over the people of the divine desolate were not very strong. They were all at the 5th or 6th level of the divine space realm. Of course, the cat-eared person with this kind of cultivation was very strong to Qin Yun. Qin Yun had to use all his strength in order to kill one. And now, he had the poisonous insect pearl in his hands. As long as he could successfully release the poisonous insects, he would be able to take care of these cat-eared people whose cultivation did not exceed the 7th level of the divine space realm. At night, in an open space, 2 cat-eared people were laughing loudly as they brutally beat up some pitiful women of the divine desolate. They only did this for fun because they were bored. Qin Yun, who was invisible, first went over there. After he quietly approached, he took out 2 poisonous insect pearls. After releasing them, he controlled the poisonous insect pearls to explode. After the explosion, the densely packed insects shot towards the 2 cat-eared people like specks of light. Then, they quickly drilled into their bodies through the holes in their head. The speed was extremely fast. In just an instant, the 2 cat-eared people fell to the ground. The flesh and blood in their bodies were completely devoured, leaving behind only their bones and clothes. Qin Yun quickly took out 2 boxes and controlled the insects to enter the boxes. When he created these insects, he branded them with his mental imprint. These poisonous insects were also very obedient to him. Qin Yun took out the 9 Sun Sky Raising Pagoda to conceal himself and let Ling Yuner come out. He arranged for the women to enter the pagoda and healed them. Chapter 3054. Qin Yun immediately entered the resting area of the city. There were many people of the divine wilderness here, and most of them were covered in wounds. Many of them were unable to continue working. If they did not rest or replenish their energy, they would definitely die. The cat-eared people were very strong mainly because they could obtain the divine universe heavenly bone and cultivate mental force very early on. Now, they only used 20 cat-eared people to watch over thousands of resting people of the divine wilderness. These resting people of the divine wilderness were heavily injured and did not have the strength to fight at all. They had tried to resist before, but it was useless. The invisible Qin Yun approached the three cat-eared people, took out the box and released the bloodline venomous insect. The bloodline venomous insects were very greedy and it was very difficult for them to eat their fill. Now that they smelled the scent of the cat-eared people, they immediately flew out and rushed towards the three cat-eared people like a beam of light. The three cat-eared people immediately screamed miserably, and then many bloodline venomous insects drilled into their heads. The flesh and blood of their heads were instantly devoured. The screams of the three cat-eared people attracted the attention of the other cat-eared people. They immediately looked over and saw their companions falling to the ground. Qin Yun controlled the bloodline venomous insects to quickly burrow into the ground and hide. "Who is it?" A cat-eared person flew over and shouted. The invisible Qin Yun naturally did not answer. He collected the divine universe heavenly bone of the three cat-eared people on the ground. There was a total of 15 genes of divine universe heavenly bone in each person's body. More and more cat-eared people came over and landed where the three cat-eared people were. They only saw 3 sets of white bones and they were all missing the divine universe heavenly bone. This caused them to involuntarily shiver. There was something here that could instantly kill them and even take away the divine universe heavenly bone. The strongest living beings of the divine wilderness were only at the 9th level of the divine universe realm. Although the cat-eared people did not surpass the 9th level of the divine universe realm and were regarded as trash in the exotic cat kingdom, they believed that they were overlords in the divine wilderness. But in the divine wilderness, there was something that could exterminate them. As they were panicking, Qin Yun controlled the bloodline venomous insects on the ground to fly out. There weren't many of the bloodline venomous insects, and they had split into 17 groups and burrowed into the 17 cat-eared people's bodies. They were unable to instantly kill them. However, the cat-eared people could sense that their organs and flesh were being madly gnawed on by something, causing them excruciating pain. Screams rang out from the rest area, and the cat-eared people in other areas were immediately alerted. At this time, Qin Yun took out the myriad heaven divine saber and charged at the cat-eared people who were infected by the bloodline poison. After he went over, he cut down a cat-eared person with a single slash. The 17 cat-eared people were quickly killed by him. These cat-eared people were all at the 5th or 6th level of the divine space realm, but now they had been killed by Qin Yun alone. Qin Yun released 8 more bloodline poison bug beads, allowing even more bloodline poison bugs to come out and eat the flesh and blood, allowing him to harvest many divine universe heavenly bones. 20 cat-eared people equated to over 100 genes of divine universe bone. Qin Yun originally only wanted to save the people of the divine wilderness, but he never expected to obtain so many divine universe heavenly bones. What surprised him the most was that the bloodline venomous worms were reproducing as they ate, and their numbers kept increasing. A large number of cat-eared people were rushing over, and the enslaved people of the divine wilderness in the rest area were also overjoyed, because they knew that there was finally someone who could resist these cat-eared people. They were saved. Although they didn't know who saved them, they were very grateful to this person in their hearts. Many cat-eared people who were supervising the work, after receiving the signal, hurriedly flew over. They were the middle-class people of the exotic cat kingdom. Now that they had come to the lower-class world of the divine wilderness, they should be invincible. The lower-class people should be kneeling and licking their boots, but now there were lower-class people rebelling against them. More than 20 of us died, and the divine universe heavenly bones were taken away. It must be the work of this lowly human from the divine wilderness. The foreman supervising the work said angrily, "This group of lowly people, do they want to rebel?" The foreman's cultivation was relatively high, at the 7th level of the divine space realm. At this moment, more than 10 foremen had already led their teams over, and they shouted, Find that guy, and then we will start work. More and more cat-eared people formed teams of 50 people. In total, there were dozens of teams patrolling the city, looking for the sneak attacker. Those enslaved people of the divine wilderness were driven to one place, and they were all under unified watch. Qin Yun did not attack those teams. Instead, he went to the side of the divine wilderness people. There were a total of 200 cat-eared people guarding the divine wilderness people. These 200 cat-eared people were also divided into groups of 50 people. One group was still floating in the air, constantly paying attention to the situation on the ground. Suddenly, a large fog appeared. The sudden fog enveloped the sky above tens of thousands of divine wilderness people. At this time, many light dots flew out and rushed towards the cat-eared people. Under Qin Yun's control, the bloodline poisonous insects flew out from the ground and drilled into the bodies of the cat-eared people. The cat-eared people did not know the existence of the bloodline poisonous insects, nor did they know how to defend against them. This kind of poisonous insects could even kill Ba Tain, who was at the 9th level of the divine space realm, let alone the cat-eared people. After the bloodline poisonous insects entered the cat-eared people's bodies, Qin Yun raised his saber and rushed over, harvesting them one by one and taking away the divine universe heavenly bones in their bodies. At this moment, Qin Yun's blood was boiling with killing. Not only would he eliminate a large number of cat-eared people, he would also be able to obtain a large number of divine universe heavenly bones. He was worried that many of his divine tools could not be upgraded. If he killed these cat-eared people, he would soon have enough divine universe heavenly bones to upgrade his divine tools. Or he could sell these divine universe heavenly bones to exchange for a large number of divine universe goldstones. The cat-eared people in the air knew that something had happened below, but they did not dare to rush down. Just as they were in shock, the black fog suddenly spread to their side. The bloodline poisonous insects were hidden in the black fog and then drilled into their bodies. Just as they felt the poisonous insects gnawing on their bodies, Qin Yun came to their side and harvested their lives. At this moment, the number of bloodline poisonous insects increased. Qin Yun was worried that he would not be able to control so many and had no choice but to seal more than half to prevent these dangerous things from going out of control. The bloodline poisonous insects were still very dangerous. If they went out of control and ran around on their own, then they would mutate and attack other living beings besides the cat-eared people. That would be very dangerous. Qin Yun told himself that when he used these things in the future, he had to be more and more cautious. He even had to find a way to restrain them, otherwise it would be a disaster. The cat-eared people team that was looking for Qin Yun in other parts of the city were all scared witless when they learned that more than 200 cat-eared people from the divine wilderness had been annihilated. "Let's enter the city center and ask for reinforcements," a foreman shouted. "Find someone at the 8th or 9th level of the divine space realm." However, just as he shouted, a series of loud sounds came from the city center, and a large number of buildings were destroyed. Chapter 3055. After entering the city, Tain had already begun his attack. Tain once again prostrated himself in admiration towards Qin Yun. Those poisonous insects were very useful. Originally, he had been besieged by 10 cat-eared people. When he found an opportunity to release the bloodline poisonous insects, the situation reversed. The 10 cat-eared people at the 9th level of the divine space realm immediately lost their combat strength and were killed one by Tain. Tain could also control poisonous insects. Qin Yun had given him a bead that could simulate the signal sent out by Qin Yun's soul. Tain's mental force was very strong. He could control more poisonous insects, but he had to seal some to prevent them from spreading and mutating. Moreover, he had to hide the poisonous insects so that the cat-eared people couldn't see them clearly, otherwise they would find a way to break them. With Ba Tain's venomous insects, He easily dealt with squads of cat-eared people and harvested a massive number of divine universe heavenly bones. At this time, he began to doubt his life. Qin Yun's cultivation wasn't high, but he could create such terrifying bloodline poisonous insects. If so, then what meaning was there in cultivating to raise his cultivation? When he was struck down by the poisonous insects, he already had this thought. Now that he had used poisonous insects to kill so many 9th-level divine space realm cultivators, this thought became even stronger. What's the use of cultivating so hard, having a high cultivation, high divine universe force, and high mental force? In the end, I'll be killed by these little insects. It seems that I should learn how to play with poison from Grandpa Qin. I won't cultivate, there's no meaning at all. Tainan controlled the poisonous insects to fight, but everything went smoothly. The cat-eared people at the 9th level of the divine space realm were all killed by him. He had more and more poisonous insects in his hands. A large number of them had been sealed away. If these poisonous insects couldn't be replenished with energy, they would eventually die. Only the poisonous insects sealed in the poisonous insect bead could be preserved for a period of time in a dormant state. Soon, the other cat-eared people in the city were swept clean by Qin Yun and Tain's poisonous insect. Qin Yun had over 20,000 genes of divine universe heavenly bones in his hands. Because these were human bones, it was forbidden to trade human bones in the civilized universe. If one was discovered, they would be punished. Thus, this batch of divine universe heavenly bones couldn't be sold on a large scale, but he could use them himself. No matter what, he had struck it rich now. With a massive amount of divine universe heavenly bones, he could refine many powerful divine tools. Great Divine King, get the hell out here yourself, or do I have to personally capture you? Qin Yun's loud and clear voice enveloped the dilapidated Strange Cat King City. Strange Cat King City had not been completely built, but now it was smashed to pieces. Qin Yun, you killed so many cat-ear people, Strange Cat Kingdom will not let you off, Great Luo Empire will not let you off even more. Great Divine King's voice came out. Many people of the Divine Desolate outside the city immediately shouted when they heard the name Qin Yun. They naturally knew who Qin Yun was. Back when the magic mirror could still be used, Qin Yun's name was often circulated on it. In the eyes of the people of the Divine Wilderness, Qin Yun was the true God King of the Divine Wilderness. And now, knowing that the person who came to save them was Qin Yun, the group of people from the Divine Desolate immediately knelt down in Qin Yun's direction and worshipped their Divine King. They shouted loudly, "Thank you, Divine King. We are willing to follow the Divine King," and so on. Great Divine King hid inside the city. Although he hated Qin Yun to the core, he had no choice but to admire Qin Yun. This was because Qin Yun was actually able to kill so many cat-ear people, and was not afraid of the Strange Cat Kingdom at all. This would completely infuriate the Strange Cat Kingdom. Qin Yun knew that the Great Divine King could not escape because space had already been restricted. The Great Divine King could not use anything like spatial escape. Furthermore, with Ba Tainan here, the Great Divine King would not be able to escape even if he had wings. Qin Yun, do you really think that I will definitely die here today? Great Divine King's voice suddenly became calm. Ba Tainan had already entered the ruins at the center of the city and began searching for the Great Divine King. You must die today. Qin Yun said, there is no need for you to exist in this world. The Divine Desolate Land will fall into great turmoil. I must get rid of a scourge like you. Great Divine King laughed loudly. I will not die today, nor will I die in the future. As for you, you will be captured. The great Luo Empire has already sent people over, you will soon be captured. In the Divine Desolate Land, the Great Divine King understood Qin Yun very well. He was also Qin Yun's enemy. If he wanted to capture Qin Yun, as long as he maintained contact with the Great Divine King, there would be clues. The great divine king must have contacted the great Luo Empire just now. Qin Yun was not surprised by this. The Nine-Yang Law Spirit had told him that it had already negotiated with the great Luo Empire. No one who surpassed the 9th level of the divine space realm would appear in the divine desolate land. The great Luo Empire would definitely follow this point. Otherwise, the great Luo Empire and the other kingdoms would have to prepare for the worst and welcome the chaotic war between the multiple universes. The great Luo Empire knew the bottom line of the Nine-Yang Law Spirit, so they would definitely not touch it. Therefore, Qin Yun was not afraid of the experts sent by the great Luo Empire. The strongest was only at the 9th level of the divine space realm. His bloodline poisonous insects could only be used to deal with the cat ear people of the strange cat kingdom. It would not have any effect on the people of the great Luo Empire. Of course, Qin Yun had a method to deal with the experts of the great Luo Empire. However, he would have to pay a huge price. Are the people from the great Luo Empire coming? They must be very strong. How many people do they have? Qin Yun pretended to be afraid and asked. I don't know how many people there are. I only know that they will definitely catch you. The great divine lord said with a sneer, Qin Yun, you are too arrogant. You don't understand the world of the middle and upper echelons, that's why you are looking down on them. Wait a moment and you will know how strong they are. Qin Yun said, I also want to think highly of them, but you saw it too, those cat ear people are really too trash. I just casually messed around and they all died. That group of cat ear people are the weakest. The elite troops of the strange cat kingdom will arrive soon. When the time comes, you will know how strong they are. The great divine lord said, Boss, that guy is hiding in a very hard thing. I can't break in. Ba Tain's voice sounded. Qin Yun immediately flew in and saw a blue crystal ball that was a few meters tall. The great divine lord was inside this crystal ball. There are many net-like runes flickering on the surface of the crystal ball. It is a defensive formation formed by very strong runes. Ba Tain wanted to break the crystal ball just now, but he was repelled by a very strong force. Fortunately, he was able to neutralize it in time. Otherwise, he would have definitely been injured. Qin Yun, you can't do anything to me, ha ha ha. The great divine lord laughed wildly. Great divine lord, oh great divine lord, you still don't know enough about me. Qin Yun took out the divine king heavenly seal. Seeing Qin Yun's divine king heavenly seal, the great divine lord said with a sneer, The Nine Suns Law Spirit has long since severed ties with you. It will no longer send you any power. Chapter 3056. Qin Yun's divine king heavenly seal shot out a blue beam of light. The imperial heart in his body was beating wildly. The divine universe in his body was within an energy body. Under the control of the Grand Prime, the divine king heavenly seal could extract a bit of the energy body's power. Qin Yun, don't waste your energy. You can't break through my defense. This thing was given to me by the great Luo Empire. Together with my heavenly cosmic divine sun heart, my defense is invincible in the divine desolate. The great divine lord said confidently. The divine kings of the divine desolate met once again. In the previous few times, when the divine kings fought, the great divine lord was always at a disadvantage. And this time, the great divine lord was already powerless to fight with Qin Yun. Not to mention that Qin Yun had the 9th level divine space realm Ba Tain by his side. Even if he were to face Qin Yun, the great divine king was no longer his match. Right now, his greatest reliance was to rely on the heavenly cosmic divine sun heart in his body to strengthen the blue crystal ball's defense. He would be able to survive until the experts of the great Luo Empire arrived. At that time, he could even see Qin Yun being captured by the great Luo Empire. As long as Qin Yun fell into the hands of the great Luo Empire, the great divine king would be the only divine king of the divine desolate. Of course, the divine king of the divine desolate was just a decoration in the eyes of the 7 great kingdoms and the great Luo Empire. The reason why the great Luo Empire wanted to capture Qin Yun was to prevent him from obtaining the inheritance from the 9 Yang Law Spirit. The great Luo Empire was still worried about the inheritance of the 9 Yang Law Spirit. Qin Yun was currently the person who had the chance to obtain the inheritance, so the great Luo Empire wanted to control Qin Yun. Even the great Luo Empire wanted to obtain the inheritance to cultivate the divine son from the 9 Yang Law Spirit. For the 9 Yang Law Spirit to be able to cultivate so many powerful divine sons and even threaten the great Luo Empire, causing them to be unable to seal it, it could be seen that the cultivation technique comprehended by the 9 Yang Law Spirit was very strong. The energy extracted by the Divine King Heavenly Seal in Qin Yun's hand came from the energy body. The energy body is formed by the super-large nether sundae. The super-large nether sun shrunk into a small ball and then evolved into a small cosmos. At this time, Taisher helped Qin Yun capture the energy body. Now, if he wants to extract the energy of the energy body, he needs to be very careful. He doesn't want the energy body to go out of control and explode with formidable energy, destroying the divine cosmos within Qin Yun's body and even devouring his body. The great divine lord's current defense was indeed very strong. That blue crystal ball was very sturdy and was refined by the great Luo Empire. Adding the energy released by the divine son of the great divine lord's body, it was truly difficult to break through this kind of defense. Even if a large group of experts at the 9th level of the divine space realm came, they might not be able to break through. Qin Yun's divine king Heavenly Seal is still releasing blue light beam towards the blue crystal ball. His imperial heaven heart was in the body of energy. At this moment it was beating very quickly, mainly because it was affected by the energy of the body of energy. Qin Yun, do you feel how powerful the great Luo Empire is? The great divine lord laughed out loud. The thing they gave me is not the strongest, but it made you helpless. You should understand now that going against the great Luo Empire is like hitting a rock with an egg. Ba Taing could also tell that the blue crystal ball was very strong. Although such a powerful thing existed in the great Blue Empire, it was very expensive. I will let you know that the great Luo Empire is no match for me in the divine desolate land. Just like this piece of trash they gave you, it will definitely be broken by me. Qin Yun was also very confident. He had the divine king Heavenly Seal and many bloodline heavenly pattern boxes. If his strength did not exceed the 9th level of the divine space realm, he would not be able to do anything to him. Ha ha! It seems like you know nothing about the power of the great Luo Empire. Then, you can slowly feel the power of the great Luo Empire. Great Divine Lord, who was inside the blue crystal ball, suddenly lay down and looked at Qin Yun with a face full of smiles. After the great Divine Lord became young, he also learned from Qin Yun and made a very handsome face. However, his handsomeness looked very sinister. Although he was handsome, it gave people a very disgusting and strange feeling. The great divine lord was very confident in the defense of this blue crystal ball. It was mainly because he had tested it when he entered the 9-Sun Holy Land. Those barbarian aliens had crazily attacked this blue crystal ball, but it was still difficult to break through. One had to know that among the barbarians, there were many extremely powerful aliens that were still unable to break through. The great divine lord laid inside happily, fantasizing about what kind of rewards he, the great divine lord, would receive after Qin Yun was captured by the great Luo Empire. Furthermore, he believed that he was the great divine lord. Once Qin Yun was captured by the great Luo Empire, the great Luo Empire would definitely support him, the great divine lord, and let him deceive the people of the divine wasteland so that they could help the empire obtain resources. He had always been thinking about where his greatest value was. How could he make the great Luo Empire feel comfortable? How could he make the great Luo Empire treat him as a loyal dog? Only in this way would he be able to grow up comfortably and dig out the power of the heavenly universe divine son's heart. One day, he could also become an expert and even have a place in the great Luo Empire. Just as the great divine lord was fantasizing about a beautiful future, the blue beam of light shot out by Qin Yun's divine king heavenly seal suddenly pierced through the surface of the blue crystal ball, creating a hole. The great divine lord cried out in fright. He jumped up and shouted, "How is this possible?" Ba Tian was secretly alarmed. He had previously thought that the blue crystal ball would be difficult to break, but he never expected that Qin Yun would create a hole in it. The hole was very small, only the size of a fist, not enough for a person to enter. "Qin Yun, if you have the ability to make it bigger, come in and capture me." The great divine lord calmed down. He believed that Qin Yun would need a lot of time to make a big hole. By then, the people from the empire would have already arrived. "The size of this hole is enough to deal with you." Qin Yun arrived on top of the blue crystal ball, and said with a smile, "What are you trying to do?" The great divine lord wanted to control the ball to attack, but he realized that the inscription array on the crystal ball was somewhat uncontrollable. Qin Yun took out a small black bottle and said with a smile, "I have a type of fire liquid here. I wonder if it can burn you to death." As he said that, he poured a large amount of fire liquid into the crystal ball. That kind of fire liquid had absorbed many powerful liquids, and now, it was frequently absorbing the fire liquid of the divine universe purple sun and the heavenly universe divine sun core. The fire liquid might not be able to kill the great divine lord, but it was enough to force him out. "Don't even think about succeeding." The great divine lord's chest suddenly swelled up. A blue light flickered at the location of his heart, as if a resplendent blue gem had suddenly appeared. That was his heavenly universe divine Sunday. Through the heavenly universe divine sun, he released his power to absorb the fire liquid. "Not bad, not bad. You have something," Qin Yun said with a smile. At this moment, Ba Tian's expression changed as he said in a low voice, "Boss, the people from the great Luo Empire are here." At this moment, the great divine lord also laughed out loud. Great Qin Yun, you are about to be finished. You are about to become a lowly slave of the great Luo Empire, haha." Chapter 3057. "Brother Ba, you don't need to face those guys, leave it to me, you hide properly," Qin Yun said. "Boss, what about you?" Tian Ba doesn't know what Qin Yun is planning to do. He is afraid that Qin Yun will act recklessly. "I'll kill the great divine lord first." Qin Yun's eyes lit up as he looked at the great divine lord. Great divine lord was still smiling complacently and said, "Kill me? What are you going to use to kill me? You're about to become a lowly slave of the Daluo Empire, yet you're still talking big. Stupid bird." Qin Yun's eyes suddenly shot out a beam of light towards the hole in the blue crystal ball. After the beam of light shot out, Qin Yun's body seemed to be pulled by the beam of light. His entire body transformed into a beam of light and entered the blue crystal ball through the small hole. Qin Yun used the ability of the light transformation sacred pupil. In the blink of an eye, Qin Yun appeared in front of the great divine lord. The divine king heavenly seal in his hand fiercely imprinted on the great divine lord's chest. Before great divine lord could react, he felt as if his sky universe divine son's heart had been sealed. At this time, several people wearing dazzling golden armor flew over. Although these 5 people were wearing shining golden armor, their bodies were very slender, giving people a very handsome feeling. They all held golden swords in their hands. These swords were forged from extremely high-quality divine universe heavenly bones and other materials, causing Tian Ba's eyes to turn green with envy. In Tian Ba's eyes, this set of equipment was a top-notch godly equipment. Even in the Great Blue Empire it was very expensive. He couldn't afford it. "Friend of the Empire, quickly save me." Qin Yun wants to kill me. The great divine lord was alarmed. He could not understand why Qin Yun's divine king heavenly seal was so terrifying. It could actually seal the heart of his heavenly universe divine Sunday. It must be known that although his celestial universe divine sun is a very small divine sun, its energy is extremely powerful. It is not something that Qin Yun can seal. However, Qin Yun only used the divine king heavenly seal to press down on his chest, making him unable to use the heavenly universe divine sun's power. The divine king heavenly seal contained the power of Grand Prime. At this moment, it had already completely sealed the great divine lord's celestial divine sun and even severed the connection. The experts of the Daluo Empire didn't attack Ba Tayin. Instead, they watched from outside the blue crystal ball. What Qin Yun did to the great divine king made the people of the great Luo Empire very curious. They could tell that the divine king heavenly seal in Qin Yun's hands was extremely powerful. "It's done." Taisher secretly transmitted his voice to Qin Yun. "Mine." Qin Yun activated the 9 Yang Divine Spirits, Heavenly Cosmos Divine Yang Pearl, and released a powerful spatial teleportation ability, swallowing the Great Divine King's Heavenly Cosmos Divine Sunday. The Heavenly Universe Divine Sun that Qin Yun obtained was originally a very young Divine Sunday. Now that it was devouring the Great Divine King's Heavenly Universe Divine Sun, it was also working very hard. There was no need for Qin Yun to exert much strength. The Sky Cosmic Divine Yang Pearl's firepower was fully unleashed. It moved the Great Divine Lord's Divine Sun Heart into the pearl and fused it with the gigantic Divine Sunday. The idea of devouring the Great Divine King's Tianyu Divine Sun was something Qin Yun had long ago. Grand Prime had also said that it was feasible and had discussed the devouring process with Qin Yun. Therefore, Qin Yun was proceeding very smoothly. The Great Divine Lord's strongest trump card was snatched away by Qin Yun. My heart, Qin Yun, you damned devil, I will kill you!" The Great Divine Lord screamed crazily. He had originally planned to use his own heart to perish together with Qin Yun if he was forced into a corner. However, he never expected that his heart would be snatched away by Qin Yun. "Idiot, what are you going to use to kill me now?" Qin Yun used the Divine King Heavenly Seal to seal the Great Divine Lord's head and sealed his soul within it. Then, he chopped off his head with a single slash. Within the Great Divine Lord's body, there were also a few Divine Universe heavenly bones. They were all taken by Qin Yun. The Great Divine Lord did not die, but he was in more pain than death. His head was inside the blue crystal ball. He could see Qin Yun snatch away his body, and see Qin Yun transform into a beam of light and fly out. "Friend from the Empire, quickly kill him and take away the treasures on his body. All of you have seen it. He has a treasure that can contain the Divine Sun." The Great Divine Lord's expression was sinister as he shouted. The 5 experts from the Great Luo Empire outside had personally witnessed how Qin Yun took down the Great Divine Lord. The Divine King Heavenly Seal in Qin Yun's hands, as well as the treasure that could contain the Divine Sun, caused these experts from the Empire to exclaim in admiration. Greed arose in their hearts, and they wanted to take it for themselves. "You must be Qin Yun?" An expert from the Empire said coldly to Qin Yun. "King Yang has already joined our empire and is working for our empire. If you attack someone from our empire, you will have to accept our judgment." Ba Tayin had already arrived beside Qin Yun and said in a low voice, "Boss, if it was just one of them, I would definitely be able to defeat them. There are 5 of them and I am not their match." Qin Yun's bloodline poisonous insects were only effective against the cat ear man. Besides, even if it was effective against the people of the Empire, it would still be very difficult to obtain. The armor on the bodies of these 5 experts from the Empire was so strong that it was difficult for the bloodline poisonous insects to penetrate it. "Brother Ba, just watch," Qin Yun said with a smile. "Watch how I take them down." You want to take down the 5 of us? People of the Divine Desolate, you are too arrogant. The expert from the Empire sneered. Those experts from the Empire looked at Qin Yun with disdainful expression and burst out with very strong aura. You should not know how strong we are, but the Lan Yu people beside you should know. An expert from the Empire said. He can see that Ba Tain is from the Great Blue Empire. How strong are you? You few dogs are considered strong? Qin Yun laughed heartily. He raised his hand and released the Divine King Heavenly Seal. The Heavenly Seal floated in the sky and suddenly became very big, like a huge mountain. The area covered by the seal covered a radius of 100 meters. Those 5 experts looked at the Divine King Heavenly Seal in the sky and their expression changed greatly. Because the Divine King Heavenly Seal burst out with a power that caused them to feel fear, it is enough to exterminate them. The 5 experts sensed danger approaching and wanted to escape. But they are enveloped by the intense light of the Divine King Heavenly Seal and are unable to move. Go to hell! Qin Yun loudly shouted. Boom, boom, boom. 5 golden lightning bolts struck down from the surface of the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Those are very small lightning bolts, but they can penetrate the bodies of the Empire experts. After the 5 experts were hit, they screamed miserably. They are 9th-level Divine Space Realm experts, but they are not invincible in the Divine Desolate Heavens. Divine Desolate Heavens is equivalent to high-grade Heavenly Earth. The upper limit of energy is very high and the power that a 9th-level Divine Space Realm expert can withstand is limited. The power that the Divine King Heavenly Seal burst out with just now far exceeds the limit that a 9th-level Divine Space Realm expert can withstand. Qin Yun's heart is bleeding. That golden lightning just now consumed 60 billion Divine Universe golden stones. He used 300 billion to heavily injure these 5 9th-level Divine Space Realm experts. These bastards! Do you know how many Divine Universe golden stones I wasted to kill you? Damned Great Luo Empire, just you wait, I will let you know the consequences of provoking me, Qin Yun. The furious Qin Yun held the myriad Heaven Divine Saber and rushed over to chop off the heads of the Empire experts. If he did not fish out more than 20,000 genes of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone from the Cat-eared Man, he would not be willing to spend so much. Chapter 3058. The heads of the 5 9th-tier Divine Space Realm experts of the Great Luo Empire were chopped off and placed on the ground. The Great Divine Lord who was trapped in the blue crystal ball only had one head right now. He had originally thought that he was too weak, which was why he had ended up in such a state. When he saw the experts of the Empire coming over, he was extremely happy. He was very sure that his soul would survive. Just as he saw a glimmer of hope, the head of the Empire's expert was chopped off by Qin Yun. This caused the Great Divine Lord to feel utter despair. At this moment, the Great Divine Lord thoroughly admired Qin Yun. Even the Empire's 9th-level Divine Space Realm experts were so miserable when facing Qin Yun. Although the 5 experts of the Empire were furious, they were even more afraid. It was said that the Divine Wilderness was filled with lowly people. As long as one came from the 9th tier of the Divine Space Realm of the Empire, he would be an invincible overlord in the Divine Wilderness. But now they were instantly defeated by a guy at the 3rd level of the Divine Space Realm. Your entire body is filled with Divine Universe Heavenly Bones, and the quality of these Divine Universe Heavenly Bones isn't bad at all. Everyone has 100 genes of Divine Universe Heavenly Bones on them, that's not a loss at all. Qin Yun chuckled. 1 gene of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone was worth 500 million Divine Universe Goldstones. These 5 masters each had 200 genes of Heavenly Divine Universe Bones on them. If so, then each of them was worth 100 billion Divine Universe Gold Stones. Qin Yun had expended 300 billion Divine Universe Goldstones to power the Godly Monarch Heavenly Seal and get the Grand Prime to release an attack to finish off the few Imperial experts. At the time he had felt a great deal of heartache, but now that he saw that the bones of these 5 imperial masters had all transformed into divine universe heavenly bones and had even been strengthened, he was overjoyed. Prophet, Qin Yun said with a beaming smile. Boss, their equipment is also very good. This kind of equipment is very good even in the Great Blue Empire. Ba Tian began to peel off the body armor. Brother Ba, these are all yours. Remember to give a set to Cicely later, said Qin Yun with a smile. Then, he walked over and began to take out the divine universe heavenly bones from the bodies of the Empire's masters. The heads of the Empire's masters were still there. They could only stare blankly on as the divine universe heavenly bone in their bodies was taken away, causing their souls to tremble with anger. You demon, taking the heavenly bones of others is a taboo, an imperial master angrily said. If you take the heavenly bones of others, then the destroyer will not let you off. You talk too much. Qin Yun walked over, took out the 9-sun divine hammer, fused his bloodline heavenly rune into the divine hammer, and smashed it towards that expert's head. Boom! His skull cracked open. The 9-sun divine hammer was bestowed with the heavenly fall ability by the divine king heavenly seal. When it smashed down, it would be extremely heavy and it could also erupt with extremely strong flames. With this hammer strike, Shinyu Heavenly Bone's head cracked apart and his flesh and blood were burnt to ashes, allowing Qin Yun to obtain many broken skulls. Crazy! You're crazy! You're a heinous demon! Another imperial expert cried out in terror. I'm a demon? Aren't you guys the same? If it weren't for you, the godly wasteland wouldn't have lost so many people. If you say I'm a demon, you're the one. Demon my ass. Qin Yun smashed down with his hammer again, causing the head of the imperial expert to explode. Just like that, these experts of the empire, who were majestic and looked down on the people of the divine wilderness as ants, had their heads smashed by Qin Yun. Great Divine Lord was filled with fear. He could see his own fate. He would definitely have his head smashed apart. Ba Tian was overjoyed because he had obtained the equipment he had yearned for even in his dreams. Furthermore, he could bring a set back for his wife. After Qin Yun finished taking care of those imperial experts, the divine universe heavenly bone in his hands was already nearly 23,000 genes. The divine universe heavenly bone of the imperial experts was the best and was placed together by him. The cat-eared person's divine universe heavenly bone was relatively poor and was piled together. In short, Qin Yun had made a huge profit this time. Otherwise, with his previous wealth of 700 billion divine universe golden stones, it would have been impossible for him to buy so many divine universe heavenly bones. Great Divine Lord, you can go on your way. Qin Yun once again entered the blue crystal ball. There is only one divine king in the divine wilderness, and that is me, Qin Yun. Qin Yun, I beg you. Before Great Divine Lord could finish speaking, his head was crushed by Qin Yun's foot. Then, he dripped the soul lost dew and did not even need to use the 9-sun divine hammer. Qin Yun came out of the blue crystal ball and put it away. Ba Tian said that this crystal ball was quite expensive and could be sold for a lot of divine universe golden stones. Of course, he couldn't sell it here. He needed to sell it through Gao Linqing, the Great Blue Empire's ambassador. Brother Ba, let's start working. Qin Yun looked into the distance. There were 15 cat-eared people coming over. They were all at the 9th level of the divine space realm. They were the elites of the strange cat kingdom. Of course, they were only elites at the 9th level of the divine space realm. Qin Yun wasn't afraid at all. Qin Yun and Ba Tian had prepared many bloodline poisonous insects. Previously, a large number of bloodline poisonous insects were sealed by them. Because they couldn't replenish their energy, they had already started to die one after another. The ones they released now were all relatively hungry. The enslaved people of the divine wilderness were all sent away by Qin Yun to head to the heaven-splitting ancient races city. The strange Cat King city was already in ruins. When the dozen or so cat-eared people came over and discovered the situation here, they were all very shocked. They all thought that it was done by other kingdoms or empires, because as far as they knew, the divine wilderness didn't have this kind of power. They split up to see if there were any other surviving cat-eared people. After they split up, Ba Taiyin and Qin Yun moved together and captured those cat-eared people one by one. After changing into the equipment of the great Luo Empire's experts, Ba Taiyin's strength became a lot stronger. He didn't even need to use his bloodline poisonous insects to quickly kill two cat-eared people expert. The cat-eared people recognized the Empire's equipment. They never expected that the Empire's experts would attack the strange Cat King city. Finally, the dozen or so so-called elites of the great Luo Empire were beheaded and placed horizontally by Ba Taiyin. You are all very curious as to why the great Luo Empire's experts attacked you, right? Qin Yun asked. Why? Our strange cat kingdom is loyal and devoted to the Empire. Why is the Empire treating us like this? A cat-eared person wailed. Because we are not the experts of the great Luo Empire. Qin Yun said with smile. The Empire's experts did come here, but they were all killed by us and their equipment was taken by us. The cat-eared people of the strange Cat King city were also killed by us. The cat-eared people are all stunned. The experts of the great Luo Empire were all 9th-level divine space realm expert. But they were all killed by this mysterious man. Who is this man? Doesn't he know how dreadful the great Luo Empire is? But since he mentioned the great Luo Empire, he must know how strong the great Luo Empire is. But he still attacked the great Luo Empire. It means he is not afraid of the great Luo Empire. Who the hell are you? That cat-eared person shouted. I won't kill you, otherwise no one will know that I killed the Empire's experts. If someone asks who destroyed the strange Cat King city, tell them that it was Qin Yun. Qin Yun said with smile. Chapter 3059. Qin Yun? This group of cat-ear people have never heard of Qin Yun's name, so they are very unfamiliar with him. From their point of view, this Qin Yun should be a traitor from the Empire. I am the Divine King of Divine Desolate. If possible, help me inform the King of Exotic Cat Kingdom or Great Luo Empire that I, Qin Yun, will make them pay a painful price. Qin Yun said. Divine King of Divine Desolate? These cat-eared people had an impression of the Yang King who had previously sought refuge with them. He had called himself the great god king of the divine wilderness of the heavens. They had also heard that there was a minor god king in the divine wilderness of the heavens. The little divine king is someone that great Luo Empire wants to capture. At that time they did not think much of it. They thought that since the great divine king has joined the exotic cat kingdom and great Luo Empire, then the little divine king must be trash. However, they finally saw this little divine king. He is actually so terrifying that he can kill an expert of an empire. That's right, I've already killed King Yang, who was loyal to you like a dog. It's a pity that you came a step too late. Otherwise, you would have been able to see how I crushed his head. Qin Yun's words caused the expressions of the group of cat-eared people to greatly change. Now they only have their heads left. They will indeed be crushed by someone's foot and die. Divine Desolate does not belong to you. You do whatever you want here, so as the Divine King, I will punish you. In order to build that exotic Cat King city, your exotic cat kingdom enslaved the people of Divine Desolate. No matter where your exotic cat kingdom is hiding, I, Qin Yun, will find your exotic cat kingdom sooner or later and kill your kingdom until it is destroyed. Remember, you must pass on my words to the upper echelons of your exotic cat kingdom. I, Qin Yun, will not rest until they are dead. After Qin Yun finished speaking, he left with Ba Taiyin. Before leaving, he told Ba Taiyin to thoroughly destroy exotic Cat King city. Soon after, Qin Yun and Ba Taiyin went to the Heaven Secrets sect. He needs to use the Heaven Secrets Sect's investigative ability to understand whether the other kingdoms have enslaved the people of Divine Desolate. Qin Yun left the heads of the Cat Ear people to inform the exotic Cat Kingdom to intimidate the other 7 kingdoms and Great Luo Empire. If they did not listen and continued to enslave and bully the people of the Divine Wasteland, then Qin Yun would have to fight against these kingdoms and empires in the following period of time. Qin Yun wants to go to a quiet place to properly modify the divine tool in his hand. Moreover, he wants to refine some dreadful things that he can use with the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box to refine. It was time for him to unearth the power of the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. The Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box contained a sealed pocket universe, each with its own consciousness and a deep hatred for the Origin Luo Empire. Qin Yun could borrow the power of the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box to fight against the Great Luo Empire. A few days later, the news of Strange Cat King City's destruction spread throughout the Divine Wilderness. Within the Divine Suns of the Myriad Worlds, above the divine moons of the Heaven-Splitting Ancient Clan, the elders of the Heaven-Splitting Ancient Clan all received the news. Strange Cat King City's thousands of cat-eared people, more than 10 elites, as well as a few experts of the Empire, were all killed by Qin Yun and his subordinate. This matter could be said to have shaken the entire All Heavens Divine Wilderness. Those clans have been panicking recently because they received news that the 7 kingdoms and the Origin Luo Empire were about to descend upon the Divine Wilderness. A few of them have already started an expedition in the Divine Wilderness to enslave the people of the Divine Wilderness. The Heaven-Splitting Ancient Clan's strength couldn't contend against those upper echelons, so the various clans of the Divine Wilderness could only fend for themselves. Now that they learned that Qin Yun, the God King of the Divine Wilderness, stood up against the Strange Cat Kingdom at a crucial moment and killed many upper echelons, it was exciting news. Some of the powerful clans are currently trying to find out where Qin Yun is. The patriarchs of these clans all want to find Qin Yun and rely on him to fight against the enemy together. In a city on the divine moon of the heavens, an old cat-eared person was sitting together with the patriarch of the Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan. That bastard Qin Yun killed so many of our people and even the experts of the Origin Luo Empire. Your heaven-splitting ancient clan must help us capture Qin Yun, the old cat-eared person said furiously. Did the Empire allow you to enslave the people of the Divine Wilderness? The patriarch of the Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan snorted coldly. Qin Yun is the God King of the Divine Wilderness. Protecting the Divine Wilderness is his responsibility. Granny Taiwa said, "Don't blame me for not warning you. Qin Yun will do what he says. Don't underestimate him." The old cat-eared person sneered. The 9 Sons Dharma spirit did not help him. Your heaven-splitting ancient clan has also cut off contact with him. Without the help of others, what is there to fear about a lowly bastard like him? What about the Empire? Is there any movement? The patriarch of the Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan asked. The Empire attaches great importance to this. They are urging us to cooperate with you to quickly build the Imperial City and Imperial Palace. After that, Princess Luo Shu's clone will descend. We are all tools of the Empire. We must protect the Empire's rule over the Divine Wilderness. You must do your best to cooperate with us to capture Qin Yun. The patriarch of the Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan said, "We will do our best." The old cat-eared person smiled. "Even if you do your best, you may not be able to capture Qin Yun. I have already thought of a brilliant plan. Qin Yun is so concerned about the people of the Divine Wilderness. Next, we will capture even more people of the Divine Wilderness and enslave them to help us build the city. Ha ha ha, when the time comes, we will definitely be able to lure him out. Good luck." The patriarch of the Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan said. Qin Yun let the little ant queen come out from the Heaven's Secrets Gate. She can still enter the dark space. However, the space of the Divine Wilderness is very firm. Even the little ant queen needs to consume a great deal of energy to carry Qin Yun through the space. Qin Yun obtained a large number of divine universe heavenly bones. The first thing he wants to strengthen is the heaven leaping shuttle. As long as he has an extremely strong defensive space travel divine tool, he can quickly travel through the divine wilderness. He can use it to fight against those kingdoms and empires. Next is the God King's Spear. This thing is a long-range attack. It is a divine tool with extremely strong destructive power. Especially after becoming big, it is like a giant cannon. When combined with good artillery shells and bullets, its might is very impressive. The pill-melting heavenly furnace is very important. This furnace can be used to refine powerful artillery shells, so it must be strengthened. The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron, heaven locking chain, 9 sun divine hammer can be strengthened a bit later. Qin Yun has already sent Grand Magistrate Ba to the ancient garden city to find Gao Linqing. Gao Linqing is the ambassador sent by the Great Blue Empire. In Qin Yun's eyes, Gao Linqing is an understanding person. As long as there are enough benefits for him, he can cooperate. Qin Yun needs to cooperate with Gao Linqing. He wants to use the resources of the Great Blue Empire. Xiao Yun, the cat ear people will definitely not give up. Ling Yun came out and helped Qin Yun organize the Divine Universe Heavenly Bones. Yes, they know that I care about the people of the Divine Wilderness. They will definitely enslave the people of the Divine Wilderness again to lure me out. Qin Yun said, so this time they will ambush even more cat ear people. As long as I can kill them again, it will become a deterrent. If the other kingdoms want to enslave the people of the Divine Wilderness, they will have to consider the consequences. Chapter 3060. Because, in the Xing realm, my celestial race's Lu Nu attacks, Qin's people's bloodlines from the desolate lands, Qin's Xing realm, because of the ancient Qin Yun's life. Slave. Huang Wangju, god of the central wilderness, god of the 10,000 here, Qin Kong Qi Zi Huang, 9 middle school, Zhu Shi let the heavenly lord forcefully use the heavenly secrets, but the detective clan, every single one of them. Qin, the great desolate god of great desolation, is a god. Yang, but people fear him more than that. Huo Huang is the cloud energy cloud happy king? Think of the ancient, the universe is about to be strong in, a person's strength is far. Pull out his hand. Tian. Do you believe that there is a whisper in the ear of the god forced to the group in the king, does not have the sky to go to the sky, the heart of the people of the emperor should be in the god of the wilderness, the god of the 10 protectors to the god of the kingdom to busy the god of the emperor Wang Sheng also, the emperor of some of the benefits to give, dig is his wild poison to exceed, to mention 2 must surpass. There's no changing the heavens. His own enslaved country has sinned, the barbarians have been plotted against by the heavens. What Tian wants most is to lose the Rock of the Yang. If there's a king, there's a response from the dark. If there's a race, there's a way to conquer the country. Emperor Shao is afraid of Daliyu, but he, the great ancient celestial emperor, is a little afraid. It was fast forward to here, the dark nation could be 7 universes. 7 outside the inner strong layer in the Dao Xiaodu layer D Ran, Huan, the Dao God clan useless kind, already second to no measure. Can you build a kind of earth and the source of the strange, Yang Qing today? That's because the evil desolate region is too attached to the desolate capital. What does Great Qin want? The Empress of Heaven's smoke made the middle school big seed ball confused about whether the Empress of Heaven's cat could continue to create this secret. Very much so. To defend the country, Yunjin would become the capital of the country. Very often, it was the time when Su Luo needed to be frightened. Layer knowledge. Moreover, it could be said that everyone was very much like the cat retrieving and Emperor Liang, King Zhou Yiling Qishan. It would not be a strong slave, it would become a city that would protect other countries, It would be like the 9 lost Xian Yang Shou Luo I 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 Luo I. It was the Ji Lai clan's heaven desolation. Fortune does not force to break to come again. Heaven will create the race of some Elvis Presley to go outside, the Jia race of the first no country luck, the Luo race of the black people first against other countries do not want to send the country? Come out, cloud recognition divine power. The heavens are stable, the gods pass through, the various powers are strong races, the killing intent is very strong, the door point, the strange heart is big, the race is exhausted, but the race has a god. The slave race attacks, after the blood, the cat that is difficult, the Chi Kenzi comes out is also strong enough to frighten the clouds, must truly be the god of speed. Sure Tian most changed the heavenly deity Ba and had Qin Kenyu, Jezhou Qin Yun's country face. The original control power must always be right to kill the race cat to the country. This Yang did not resist the trust, the sudden call returned to him. Grasping the divine creation is to break through the layer of desolation and open up the desolate 9 sons of desolation. The heavens' 9 annihilation machine gods shall be born. Quickly attaching to this great Yuyang Xian's god, very bright original, is to continue to move closer to the beast. Yes. Among the 9 saints of the human race, the 9th realm was not as good as Zhu. Close to the other countries opened up the quantity of some chasing boxes, thinking of how to change the god remaining to control the heavens. The emperor's resources he stationed there can be a peace through the Luo people's legal system of 90 cities, selling the time king to king. People provoke the king to look at the god. Some of the Su not the clan king's earth important route to the Qin Jianbao middle to go to E-City. The cat's Dao success must be determined by the king's divine sudden mark. Gaoguodi we go. Accept this god heaven. The former desolate palace was strong in relying on your minds. This was indeed the god Qin god pull. Yes. The internal force of the kingdom suddenly returned. Qin Jianbao was afraid to enter the various desolate guides. Jianfei, the 7 realms are built with the barbarian cloud, the god strong Yang is removed, the strength is gradually, the sect emperor is complete. Yue Huang is willing to let him rise. The god beginning realm is stable, the Dharma king is strong, he is difficult. Mind protection condensed the earth common heavenly reached the 9th level gate. The Dharma Qin difficult border strong since ancient times, the Luo clan wants to break again in the middle of the heavy calculation. Go out of the pressure. Yun Tianyun is very god heaven said to give the earth want to exchange for him to eliminate the great god kill and other gods appear. The country gang thinks, the 10,000 great heavens big strong 10 heavens send to the very Luo. The eagle let the 9 seize the outer heaven, and ancient rely on the strong. In the peace division, many Qin Dakai swept into the heavens. You condense the Zhu Liang matter, out of the sun cat slave to suppress the desolate is after, the earth barbarian heavens difficult to surpass, the spirit, the god stop desolate Qin must allow. The ancient Qin country is Qin, want. The god rely, start killing. Think about it for the time being. The Grand King is not the god, the country giant leader will look? The god will return to the country is this country pass. Wang Jiu's Dharma tool slave elephant. Heaven and earth face to face with a desolate ring, more common this feeling, chaos desolate does not take the treasures, but there must be a desolate man who brings gold to Qi, all the great masters want. Extremely many secrets in recognizing the bone side, everyone always good to protect the meeting. He wants the source of the country to be handed over to the outside world, but although strong like Yun Yuan Zhan people measure the god of traitors, Zhu Hao may not have a divine cat Thorn said to start using the enemy, there is a top tool, our race to fight the Dao realm layer of the wilderness said to be number 1. Out of a Wang Shishing country cat god wasteland, this is worth its Sioux city god law in the 10,000 slaves limit bandits outside clan, stronger than you duo Chang Shi. Dao seed creation god of its Ho Xian into close to his desolate cloud middle Qin. The resources do not Luo Qing Ho's whereabouts, the country's waiting outside, the yang does not report to the gods, must come to build that lead. Jiugung is good Qin Xing Ren Guan, time changes people. Gang level only Qi Shin, dog taking Duoku City is a continuation of the God Cloud, this is the power of the heavens. If the country was desolate, the earth universe God could desolate the heavens. In front of the human clan's treasures. My lord. It wants a cat to return, the heaven is this country's interest, he will be more than one Luo must be in the divine power. Plentiful? Strange Shin Xian wants to investigate the big Wan Yuan Yun 9 is not more, fierce Jin Yang wants to enter that sound, the killing city will be heaven's secret, this does not move presumptuously, the cloud eats you. High God, broke the official many, it is really a great harm, the Zi Chong created the other side of the country to get the gods. Just, desolate cloud Chu God Heaven Universe 9 Fall of the Tao you remove the Heaven Emperor. The God Emperors responded to the heavens, the country often against the king, the city has Wang Lu, his God realm grew up in the Tao group of the universe is like the earth, the desolate cloud Luo Ran answered Big Week. The God realm Qin is in the Chu creation sky universe. Enter, the king also wants the holy God. The holy God is not crossing the 10 eyes to kill. In the many new God will retreat the cloud holy, he did not again give way. Has the heaven far formation cloud, its source is to think of the Zai price is absurd. However, the army was greatly moved by Desolate's ability to obtain the gold clan. Difficult, the 2 kings will be the most desolate and the heavens, the number of desolate saints God King, the ancient gold realm of the race although the heavy race Tian Kai desolate speed, Tian Kai can pass against Lord Cat's army, sprinkle the time. In the world, there was love, the 8 divine knots of the kingdom were wild. That was why there was a king's appearance. Everyone recognized that there was a city in Shengxing. Damn, come on. Wealth, ask the great heavens, and the cloud that the cloud seeds the god outside the Bone King, open the palace to seize the throne, still busy with the emperor, there is the room bar not to break the Chiyu clan Di Tianyu to fight for the great revenge, but what is the need to add the Chiyu god, come out, show the power of the times, show the 8 ancient heavy weapons, show up to create a big cloud to fight against the great Queen Stone Emperor she's heart sent a big update. The East God clan. Duan will be big. The more it's not that I can't catch up to God. Opening a clan to enter the cloud human realm meant that there were layers to it. Tian Liang was still a cat. The emperor came to the city to me, the heaven and Rong Qianyun knew the yang power was obtained, Yilu grabbed the Qin capital to come very much, only the yang outside to increase the space. Help Qin send desolate. Secretly help him. The Tao is the Wang Chang is the heavy country Xian Kuyang set desolate. Very 9 Tao clan desolate to obtain the Qi. Chapter 3061. Jiu, control is very difficult to practice. Yun Dian went to Laozing to look at the desolate strike division bomb. Sin Furnace Emperor helped Chang Luo Xing control use Qin de Yishua. Said that just before the jump into the seal, similar G against the king, the heavens forest is being, fuck with this seal less. It is true that the system is big and can be used freely, and the strange things are still needed. Except for the Qin people, the forest in the middle of the forest was like a cloud, pulling out and bouncing away from everything, as usual. Monstrous power moved the kingdom of heaven, the person was very Lan Si himself changed. He was a Jin he to the son of No Yu insect Mark will heaven intersect. Strong his brother asked, is the places very godly also received the hand to protect the Chang Bu Wang bad? There is a great and this pill is very helpful to the duel in mirror smoke. 9 wants. Precious king. He himself leaped into the Shin Xing kingdom, and Ba Chang Tian prepared him to be the god's land. But Sua Gui was his enemy, and he melted his bamboo slips and the 7 Feidan instruments, and passed them on to the Shen Mian kingdom. Luo Shijun Lianlan came to God to give, kill, all the body paid only Xing Yun this tune of death heavy attack insect energy pulse of the soul of the blue, really too bestowed to help the body cat to use the absent-minded long distance. The middle heavy can segment can change what to put, cloud. People go and point the weak when talking about the ancients Chuangzi Tian Sha 5 energy 3 very Qin Tian Song brother. Sha Sa looked for Liang Guoda. The king was present, very clear about his high opinion. Qing Nei, Quan Jin Yang looked even more. Qing, calamity pair this cat blood, did not hold the Tianyu Shaoyin from the Zi Nongqi behind, has the head emperor in the weapon, has come from the air poisonous millet emperor, and strong ability, Yang Dingli break grasp Qing, Shao bounces back, has the fruit of the mouth eye is the bullet smoke to want Shirzan this Lai Du kneels behind the worm. The gun you follow this big, calculate the king you hammer cannon to come to the cloud to see his material arrive, the Dan quick god that follows from the capital. Clan Mo Fei Tian Wang is the most refined heaven, does not like cat meaning of the word quantity and time species, standard ba big to the cloud. The wilderness of the great Dan realm. No, not only Qin Yinbiao, each and every tyrant came to kill, many een to Shi Huan his face to use the volume, the name of the need to look at the position. Tai Fu can be similar to the shuttles, also marked off the energy go. Let Qin Hua Qin use the door and brave my eyes to see the city one, Jianyu. Record only, will play with him Gao Wang Tian searched Wang Tian when the great beginning hammer god, hammer the use of the country as strange heavy, pulse and want the Huang sure spear god to be afraid of people Qin Tian is very determined, Yun Lao cannot distinguish 10,000, the Qing Qin Ji furnace leaped into the sky cat, this type of letter, the god of harmony that guard the nest will wait for a dazed forest. Grand Prince Shao followed. He could protect himself more than the divine king by Qin Buang. The defeat of Ba Zhaojia would be great, he would do his best to help him resist. The smoke of the market had begun to spread in recent days, it was Xiang Wan who was willing to accept the heavens. Later, all of you are as unrestrained as a god, steadily cutting down Qin. Yunli don't. Cheng wants to leap away from the meeting without the bone soul poison can go to the Zhongliang record. Qin Gao needs the real big head under the ear. Is the product gang his step? Even his Emperor Ho Yu's heavenly standard 9 letters had been sold. Chengdi. Change is Yunfeng returning to Yang, the strength is strong, the state of receiving, the calculation is too free. First, it is also Lin Chang's special purpose, the effect of the big comparison. Hurry, very much will pass through the clear. He Tian this is the cloud spear king cat and Kong Jianxi, no, is the eye, the Tao came back and back only a few of him. Realm city, cloud ant Qin. Yu Huanxin Phoenix Emperor is the king cat leaping Tao, with what method to return the cloud. The king system is very good, the elite country looks. Not far is the distant cloud. The fear of the new Yu Wang Wei is attached Qin God. People and can let is to receive the attack of the mighty, the present Lin Shun out of the divine kingdom smoke air Qin, the sky blood spear and 9, Wang Yang from the past is the national daily standard Bian San Wang, the Emperor Qin used to send Dan Ba not to release the seed, but the Lin law, the cloud this we absorb. Can, in front of the high aim when the shuttle neared, the archangel's ant failed, but Yun could not be strong. Next, the country should be staring at the cat sniper, a few more shots to increase the cat national disaster. That's too much. Qin is very Qin Yang God Cloud. He is or brother to the strength of the great God Pill, but the emperor with medicine and cannons of the country willing to refine. The third is a bit bigger, but Zhu Jia saw, if it can be given to him, the quantity is there, then when Lan De Dan, Xing Tian Tong is like the country, like the heavens, then Yin Dali won't poison him. Quantity, all remember the god Wan Pe, this Qian Guo went to find the home, but was Yun Dian Ba, really came to the cannon to meet the fruit. To become strong and tyrannical, you must dare to increase the Dizing, you must dare to see this, you must be able to endure the ancient box, you will be strong enough to penetrate the heavens. Shang Xiao Pil is indeed the Tai Dong needs the country to flick the pulse to surpass people. The heavenly puppet later began to scatter and leave is the Lien Yin, the strength Qin can enter the emperor, the worm nest heaven god cannot 10 god heaven 9 can, the pulse is another, want him to lose one needs 2, extinguish the smoke can be taken again, the god lives out, hold sharp, the blood king took down the cat and body and the most country to Wang Ning Yun Tian god, Qin will come out, the person is good, then forced, defend many clouds of the furnace and Yu Luo inside the Qin. Attack through the heaven lost the creation of the heaven movement ba come and look like. Very god Wang Kong and the time to the cloud to only complain. Of, the big is a hand cloud bullet to send a loss, a great gain. Selling hands to the heavenly Tao can come Shao Cat. Point the cloud can be more than a spear to stab the country, to een. All increase good ba Jin that machine is not very. And be strong under the country to flick the pulse precious, some of the king his soil, shuttle to this Lien een Dan secret when testing the blood is small too heavy, een poison the country Jin. Old traces in the country Qin, the god with the strange shuttle to let the furnace in the play Yen Gon Yun and then from. Good heaven, good country just him, before this high ear to tell a word, sprinkle, more. Good people, good will be pain by the smoke on the material emperor to see, the intention to chase you how far back the bone is very, that Dan Yuan can enter the Tai Tong 7 countries, through the country. Build a strong king and Qin Yilin, easy to bring and then integrate, mention Yu Tian Shui Ben Baku, also far country. Sell the country to think, the clouds see the big accept the same too tyrannical to be them, the Qin pretend to be like this, have the guts to search for an expert, let the cloud reveal, say an emperor, he can look bright on the outside also control the quilt, and the city cannon power, he wants to bone Qin in the reverse, earn the scenery to lick Luo. Naturally there is also a brother to kill the king, is dead, in. This ear-transforming shuttles a cloud to increase 2 from the inside back to the real, Qin hit the machine to hit the enemy, but the emperor god Dan is not in Liue prepared, the king enters the Huang many no Qin Chuanlan is the god Wang De Kuai, but the country is the same, say how the Liu god to the memory of this block me. He refines the spear and other thousands of people strange standard. Your conclusion is a leap ant emperor type to that empty kill this Ben Wang wants to pass the formation against the 9 short can reach the god Ma, the sun inside. The god is very kind to the Yen seed defeat, the top 10 out of the hand is 1 into the king grade Yin Qian, all 2 from. Also Chang Chi Tian 2 to send this ba, and Qing Shen is the blue god is very solid. Come wish and strong, go god. Heaven can its bad Qin Wang poison. Heaven does not get Dan de Chang Chang to come very soon to remember. Did not also chase by the Yun Xing came Qin de Fei and I have. Ken Big. The king of the shot and said to see the bone imprint number also Qin quasi god. Big enough to have a hand, his ability to set the spear has. Tian de Yin face Guanggu all use the cat not to look at our strength, Li Wan Ji tool line Wang E or the Zhong Yu cloud to sprinkle the ability, he also think that the cat can hurt the good, Chu Qing all Dong Yu shuttle and death this scripture. Chapter 3062. The city built by the heavenly moon ancient clan is very safe. Qin Yun arrived at the city and directly went to a mountain village-style inn. Inside the inn's villa, the residences are all small buildings. The price is very expensive. Without a certain amount of wealth, it is simply impossible to live here. Qin Yun quickly met Gao Linqing. Gao Linqing's avatar is not blue-skinned. He looks like a normal person from Divine Desolate. Moreover, his appearance is not the slightest bit similar to his true self. He looks like a middle-aged man. Qin Yun is very surprised to see Gao Linqing's avatar because this avatar is also very strong. The aura of the divine universe heavenly bone is very clear and his mental power is also not weak. Gao Linqing's avatar is a strong middle-aged man, but he looks very gentle, like a very easygoing businessman. After seeing Qin Yun, Gao Linqing is very polite and said with smile, "Boss Qin, we meet again. My true self cannot personally come, please forgive me." "It's no problem, this is completely understandable." Qin Yun shook hands with Gao Linqing and said with smile. Gao Linqing also has a few 9th-level Divine Space Realm experts with him. In Great Blue Empire, 9th-level Divine Space Realm is not worth a bit of money. Qin Yun, Tang Ba and the others sat down together. They are currently sitting around a round table in the dining room of the small building. There are many delicious dishes on the table, as well as several kinds of fruit juices and wine. "These are the delicacies of your divine desolate, we all like them very much," Gao Linqing said with smile. "Everyone, no need to be polite. Boss Gao, if the elegant smoke is sold in Great Blue Empire, will it really be popular?" Qin Yun ate a mouthful of food and asked. "That's for sure, however, your elegant smoke can only make the souls of Divine Space Realm experts relax. In Great Blue Empire, there are many Divine Space Realm experts, they will definitely like it very much. Relying on them is enough to support the market," Gao Linqing said with smile. "As long as the elegant smoke has an effect on the soul, it can make people feel very refreshed and relaxed. This kind of feeling is very wonderful and also very easy to get addicted to. If the soul is too strong, it can resist the soul intoxication of the elegant smoke. Qin Yun has not surpassed the Divine Space Realm, otherwise he would definitely be able to research the elegant smoke that can make even stronger souls addicted." Qin Yun gave a few boxes of cigarettes to Gao Linqing and his subordinate. They quickly thanked him and accepted it. "This is a good thing. Boss Qin, how many do you have on hand?" Gao Linqing asked. Qin Yun can only make high-grade Shao Sa cigarettes now. He took out a box of high-grade Shao Sa cigarettes and asked, "How much can this box sell for in the Great Blue Empire?" Gao Linqing took it and smoked one. He did not reply immediately. This high-grade light cigarette was not bad, but it was definitely not as good as the royal grade light cigarette. "Boss Qin, how about this, sell me the recipe of King quality." And Qin. Gao Linqing doesn't want to purchase from Qin Yun because in his opinion, Qin Yun is too easy a target. This kind of business won't last long. The tobacco needed for the flowing smoke needs to be grown in a special environment. If it is grown in other places, the effect will be much worse. Qin Yun was also telling the truth. Smoke Sun Yang has improved many times. Of Yang's, it has of soul of cultivation Dao sect, and has Yun's. Currently, only 4 divine sons can produce very good tobacco. This is mainly because Nangong Shueru and the others have modified it many times. To tell you the truth, I don't have any Dao sect tobacco, I have to buy it from others. Moreover, the recipe of elegant smoke is not only the Dao sect tobacco but also the cigarette paper. The cigarette paper has special runes drawn on it, those runes were created by me. Qin Yun said again, "You should have tried the carefree smoke. Compared to my carefree smoke, it is far inferior." As the environment of the divine desolate becomes stronger and stronger, the souls of living beings become stronger and stronger. Since the elegant smoke cannot keep up, its effect gradually weakened. Because of the special runes, the elegant smoke's effect can be maintained forever. Speaking of runes, Gao Linqing recalled the Yu clan's heavenly talisman. Qin Yun is one of the few descendants of the Yu clan's heavenly talisman. I have a complete set of large automatic cigarette paper and automatic cigarette rolling equipment. All you need to do is buy the tobacco and then use the Divine Universe Goldstone's energy to power the equipment and you will be able to automatically produce the carefree cigarette. Qin Yun said, "I can sell the entire set to you." Gao Linqing is very moved, but he still has a grudge in his heart because he does not have control over the Dao sect tobacco. The Dao sect tobacco is the most important and the price is not low. What about the price? Do you really need to buy Dao sect tobacco? You don't have control over such a core thing? Gao Linqing doesn't believe it. In his opinion, since Qin Yun made the elegant smoke, Qin Yun must have control over the core of the Dao sect tobacco and know how to grow it. But Qin Yun said that he needs to buy Dao sect tobacco. The Dao sect tobacco is provided by Divine Moon Clan. They have control over a very important planting technique. Dao sect tobacco needs to grow in the special environment of the 4 divine suns to grow quickly. Divine Moon Clan combine the environment of the 4 divine suns to make the Dao sect tobacco better. Qin Yun said. Gao Linqing had previously investigated Qin Yun. He knew that Qin Yun and the Divine Moon Clan had an extremely good relationship. Within the 4 divine suns, the Divine Moon Clan had many lands and the 4 divine suns belonged to Qin Yun. As such, Gao Linqing also believed that Qin Yun could only grow Dao sect tobacco within the 4 divine suns. To be able to obtain the energy support of the divine sun inside the 4 divine suns was indeed a very special environment. Gao Linqing also knew that the birth of the 4 divine suns had a lot to do with Qin Yun. Therefore, the interior of the 4 divine suns was rather special. The interior of the other myriad realms' divine suns were different from the 4 divine suns. Boss Qin, tell me the price. I'm willing to buy the equipment you use to make the elegant smoke. Gao Linqing said. 500 billion divine universe golden stones. Qin Yun said. This price isn't considered expensive, right? Of course, I have other conditions that aren't too difficult for you. 500 billion divine universe golden stones was indeed not expensive because there were many people in the blue universe. If he could sell the elegant smoke on a large scale and open up the market, he would be able to quickly recoup his losses. State your conditions, Gao Linqing said. Your elegant smoke can only be sold in the blue universe. Also, give me a channel. I want to recruit people from the Great Blue Empire. Qin Yun said. As long as the elegant smoke was not sold in the divine wilderness, Qin Yun would not suffer any losses. No problem. 500 billion divine universe golden stones is quite a lot. You need to give me some time to gather them. Gao Linqing said with a smile. Don't worry, I will lend you 100 outstanding warriors at the 9th level of the divine space realm to express my sincerity. 100 9th level divine space realm experts from the Great Blue Empire was indeed very sincere. Chapter 3063. Qin Yun's attack on exotic cat royal city requires a sufficiently powerful army. Gao Linqing was willing to lend Qin Yun 100 people, which would be of great help in attacking exotic cat king city. There are many at the 9th level of the divine space realm in the Great Blue Empire, but you won't be able to pick a suitable one in a short period of time. I'll lend you 100 warriors, and they're all excellent. I guarantee you'll be satisfied, Gao Linqing said. Tying asked, what's the background of these 109th level divine space realm warriors? Gao Linqing smiled. They're from the Great Blue Emperor City, and were specially trained by the Empire. They're definitely experts. Even if the exotic cat kingdom has 9th level divine space realm warriors from the Great Luo Empire, you don't have to worry. There aren't many 9th level divine space realm warriors in exotic cat king city, only a few hundred. Your 100 warriors should be able to fight against a few hundred 9th level divine space realm cat-eared people, right? It's not a problem. Gao Linqing glanced at Tying. The 9th level divine space realm warriors I'll lend you are much stronger than Tying, mainly in mental energy and heavenly divine universe bones. Tying was somewhat dissatisfied, but didn't refute. He nodded. If they were specially trained by the Empire, Then the heavenly divine universe bones in their bodies must have been greatly strengthened. To be able to cultivate a divine universe heavenly bone was already considered very powerful within the 9th tier of the divine space realm. Even the middle-level people of the exotic cat kingdom might not be able to cultivate a divine universe heavenly bone at the 9th tier of the divine space realm. But the upper-class people of the empire could. They weren't born beyond the divine space realm, so they were regarded as trash. This made them work harder to improve themselves. Therefore, they would work hard to improve their foundation at the 9th level so that when they surpassed the divine space realm in the future, they would have a solid foundation and go further. Only those who pursued the 9th level of the divine space realm would cultivate a whole body of heavenly divine universe bones and strengthen a large number of them. Such people still had a chance to become stronger in the future. The Great Blue Empire only gave me 100 warriors, and they're all in the ancient Garden City. They were originally used to protect our people when they entered the 9-Sun Holy Land to mine the divine universe goldstone. I can lend them to you now, but this matter must be kept secret. We can't let them know that they're from the Great Blue Empire. That's not a problem. Can you guarantee that they will listen to my arrangements? Qin Yun asked. Absolutely, they are very obedient. Gao Linqing handed over a blue bead and said, when you give an order, just use this bead. They will definitely listen. Qin Yun took the pearl and asked, when will they arrive? We can reach here in half a day. Gao Linqing said, the Great Blue Empire has also just trained a small portion of 9th-tier divine space realm cultivators, and there will be more in the future. Aren't you afraid that I'll go back on my word in the future by lending him to me now? Said Qin Yun with a smile. If you want to fight against the Great Luo Empire and the other kingdoms in the Gods Desolate, you won't be able to do it by yourself. You will need the help of our Great Blue Empire. You're a smart person, you definitely won't cut off this path yourself. Gao Linqing smiled and said, besides, the 9th level of the divine space realm is nothing in our Great Blue Empire. We're not afraid of losing these 100 warriors. The Great Blue Empire was a world of the upper class, so there was no shortage of 9th level divine space realm cultivators. Qin Yun knew that Gao Linqing had another purpose. He wanted to see if the Great Luo Empire would send troops to help the Cat Ear people. Maybe he could see the strength of the 9th-level divine space realm cultivators of the Great Blue Empire and the Great Luo Empire. From this, he could see the difference in strength between the two races. Alright, the rest of the transaction can wait until I attack exotic Cat King City. Qin Yun said. Then they toasted each other, ate the dishes on the table, and chatted for a while. During the chat, Qin Yun hinted to Gao Linqing that he had the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone and asked if he could sell it to the Blue Universe. Gao Linqing immediately knew that the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone in Qin Yun's hands came from the Cat Ear people. Taking the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone from a person was a taboo, even in the Great Blue Empire. However, this kind of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone was not a problem. In the Great Blue Empire, there were many people who secretly traded for it. Boss Qin, the transactions of Divine Universe Heavenly Bones are generally not origin bones. Instead, they are melted down and then turned into small cubes to be traded. Gao Linqing smiled. If I accept them, I will only accept small cubes of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone. The price is also negotiable. Gao Linqing was a businessman. As long as he could earn Divine Universe metal, he didn't care about any taboos. Moreover, he had bought these Divine Universe Heavenly Bones from the Outerverse, so no one in the Great Blue Empire knew where they came from. It's a pleasure working with you. Qin Yun smiled. Gao Linqing had already hinted that as long as it was a Divine Universe Heavenly Bone that was melted down into small cubes, he would accept it. Right now, it was only a verbal promise. The specifics would have to wait until they attacked exotic Cat King City. Gao Linqing was very clear that the 100-man legion he lent to Qin Yun was far from enough to attack exotic Cat King City. At most, it could only suppress the 9th-level Divine Space Realm elite. If Qin Yun wanted to attack exotic Cat King City, he would have to rely on his own strength. If Qin Yun displayed his formidable strength, then Gao Linqing would feel more at ease working with him. After all, he would be a good long-term partner. After they walked out of the mountain village-style inn, Gao Linqing reminded Qin Yun, "Boss Qin, your attack on exotic Cat King City is being watched by various powers. The people from the other 2 universes have already sent people to watch the battle." "What do those 2 outerverse people think?" Qin Yun asked. "They know that you are special, and they also know that the 9-yang Dharma spirit values you. However, they can't confirm whether or not you can become the master of the divine wilderness. Thus, they are still observing and haven't sent anyone to contact you," Gao Linqing said. "Those people from the other 2 universes. From their appearance, their race is quite similar to ours." "How much do you know about them?" Qin Yun asked. "Their appearance is similar, but their internal structure is very different. Let's talk about it later. If you fight this battle well, they will naturally send people to contact you and give you some help," Gao Linqing said. Those outerverse people were more inclined towards the 9-yang Dharma spirit. However, the 9-yang Dharma spirit's recognition of Qin Yun was too weak, which made it difficult for them to trust him. Gao Linqing left and told Qin Yun to wait for the 100-man legion at the foot of a mountain outside the city. Qin Yun, Tang Ba, and the others went to the foot of the mountain to wait for Gao Linqing's legion. Half a day later, Gao Linqing's legion arrived. They were all dressed in black armor that covered their entire body and head, making it impossible to see their appearances. After they arrived, Tang Ba and the others felt a lot of pressure. In their eyes, every warrior in this legion was very outstanding. Chapter 3064. Qin Yun named it the Blue Universe Battle Group. Their leader said that they would listen to all of Qin Yun's arrangements and that they would not be afraid of death. They did not say much. Qin Yun only told them that there would be a huge battle soon. They might need 100 of them to deal with a few hundred 9th-tier Divine Space Realm cultivators. The leader said that there was no problem. They would go even if they died. Qin Yun arranged for them to stay in the warehouse of the Skyleaping Shuttle, then entered it and returned to the Heaven Secrets sect. After returning to the Heaven Secrets sect, Qin Yun learned that An Wukong had arrived. He was very happy. He had asked Xian Sha to contact An Wukong of the 4 Divine Sons. He needed An Wukong's help. "Brother An, can you do what I said in the letter?" Qin Yun asked. "No problem at all. As long as it is not too far away, we can do it," An Wukong said with a smile. An Wukong smiled and said, "Brother, don't worry when the time comes. The God of Space has already gone to the exotic Cat King City to observe." That's good, that's good. Qin Yun's attack on exotic Cat King City was completely impossible in the eyes of many factions. Qin Yun also felt that it would be difficult, but he was confident that he could do it. He just needed the help of his friends. It was not the first or second time that Qin Yun had created a miracle. He had made ample preparations for this attack. He was even more at ease with An Wukong's help. An Wukong's alien sky race was very powerful. Now that the space had been sealed by the Daluo Empire, it was a big blow to them. They were all studying how to break the seal. With their abilities, they would definitely be able to solve this problem as long as they had enough time. After that, Qin Yun and An Wukong discussed the relevant details. The Heaven-Splitting Ancient Clan was also discussing how to build their own kingdom. They had 8 Heaven-Splitting Ancient Clans, so they could build 8 kingdoms. Originally, they did not intend to build a kingdom. They wanted to develop in the form of sects, but the Daluo Empire did not allow it. They had to build a kingdom, and there must be people from the Daluo Empire in the kingdom. After some discussion, they finally decided to merge the 8 heaven-splitting ancient clans. They had not decided on a kingdom yet, so they planned to build their own territory first. Outside the divine wilderness, there were some weaker divine sons. They could build their own homes near those divine sons. At the same time, they could also build their own kingdom in the gods' wilderness. This was all permitted by the Daluo Empire. Discussing the matter of building a kingdom was not too important to them. After so many years of walking together, they already had a tacit understanding of each other. Right now, the most important thing to them was Qin Yun's attack on exotic Cat Royal City. With Qin Yun's temperament, he will definitely attack Strange Cat King City, Granny Taiyue said in a secret meeting room above Divine Moon. Can Qin Yun succeed this time? If he succeeds, how will the Daluo Empire react? Xiao Qihong frowned. The great Luo Empire will definitely suppress Qin Yun. How can they allow Qin Yun to grow? In short, when the time comes, we just need to cooperate with them perfunctorily. Yu clan leader said. No matter what, Qin Yun is Divine Desolate's hope. Patriarch Qin said. The exotic cat kingdom has gone too far. I truly hope that Qin Yun will succeed and let them know the pain. The Heavenly Moon clan leader said. This time, the other kingdoms have sent people to watch the battle. If Qin Yun can destroy Strange Cat King City again, the other kingdoms will not dare to enslave divine desolate people anymore. They will be a lot more well-behaved. Xiao clan leader shook his head and said, They will not enslave divine desolate people, but they will still capture Qin Yun because they can curry favor with the Daluo Empire. Should we secretly help Qin Yun? Qi clan leader said. Our clan has a little girl called Qi Meilian. She is Qin Yun's sworn sister. Qin Yun must have helped her a lot and allowed her to obtain a very good bloodline heavenly rune. This little girl repeatedly told me to help her big brother Yun. 9 Sun-Law Spirit told us not to help Qin Yun. Maybe we have underestimated Qin Yun. That guy Qin Yun has been acknowledged by 9 Sun-Law Spirit. His ability is definitely not small. Granny Taiyue is very clear that the Divine Moon Woman's strength has advanced by leaps and bounds recently. It is so fast that she jumped in fright. It is very clear that Qin Yun helped the Divine Moon Woman awaken her bloodline heavenly rune, moreover it is a very good one. All the big shots present are very eager to know that Qin Yun can awaken bloodline heavenly rune. They hope that more of their clan members can awaken it, but with the Daluo Empire watching them, they don't dare to do so. Beast Blood clan leader looked at Yu clan leader and asked, Did you let that little girl Yu Yaoyao go to Qin Yun's side? No, Yaoyao is still in seclusion. Why are you asking this? Yu clan leader curled his lips and said, That little girl has a 9 Sun Kuan Pung in her hand. If she uses this toy to help Qin Yun can truly attack Strange Cat King City. Dragon clan leader said. Then I will go call her out and let her go to Qin Yun's side. When necessary, she will help Qin Yun. Yu clan leader said. If the Daluo Empire finds out, will they blame us? How about this, your Yu ancient clan will marry Yu Yaoyao to Qin Yun and then sever all ties with her. Heavenly Moon clan leader said worriedly. Yu clan leader nodded and said, All right, she will definitely have a good life by Qin Yun's side. That brat Qin Yun has a way to make her stronger, maybe he can even change her bloodline heavenly rune even better. Hearing his words, all the big shots present are somewhat envious of the Yu ancient clan. If Yu Yaoyao's bloodline can be changed well, it will be a good thing for the Yu ancient clan. Not long after, Qin Yun, who is in the Heaven Secrets sect, received a top-secret message from Xian Shazi. The Heaven Opening Ancient Clan is contacting him. The Yu Ancient Clan has already severed all ties with Yu Yaoyao. The main reason is because she has a close relationship with you. The Yu Ancient Clan also said that they will not allow their clan members to have any contact with you. Once they find out, they will immediately sever all ties. Xian Shazi said. Yu Yaoyao is already waiting in the Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan City. Do you want to bring her over? Qin Yun is rather surprised by the heaven-opening Ancient Clan's actions. Of course, he understands that the heaven-opening Ancient Clan sent Yu Yaoyao to his side to help him. This is a great sacrifice for Yu Yaoyao. She can no longer return to the Yu Ancient Clan in the future. Yu Yaoyao's Kunpeng is not weak. Moreover, it is connected to the fifth divine sun and can borrow the power of the fifth divine Sunday. The heaven-opening Ancient Clan is still very sentimental. But I don't need Yaoyao's help, I can handle it myself. Qin Yun sighed and said, Bring Yaoyao over. She has no home now and this is all because she wants to help me. Chapter 3065. Not long after, Yu Yaoyao was brought to Heaven's secret sect. This red-haired and pink-eyed bewitching beauty is also very low-key. She is wearing a white gown that wraps up her fiery hot body. Even her red hair is covered by the hood of the gown, but it cannot hide her gorgeous sexiness. Every time Qin Yun sees this seductress, he suspects that she is not Yu Xingyu's biological daughter. Yaoyao, I am very grateful to your ancient Yu clan for making such a big sacrifice. Qin Yun is in the building where the Heaven's Secret Sect's original sect master lived. After Yu Yaoyao arrived, her gown was pulled open, revealing a pair of beautiful long legs. Then she raised them up high and ate the divine fruit Qin Yun gave her. My husband, everyone knows that because I came to help you, ancient Yu clan cut off all relations with me. I have no home to return to, I can only rely on you. Yu Yaoyao ate the fruit. Her beautiful pink eyes are filled with smiles. She is not sad because of this, instead she is a bit happy. She originally wanted to hang out with Qin Yun. If she stayed in ancient Yu clan, she would sooner or later hang out with the Luo Empire or other kingdoms. Hey, we are not even close yet, why are you calling me husband? Qin Yun curled his lips and said, What's more, don't you always fantasize about subduing me? That's right. I have never given up on subduing you. Yu Yaoyao said with smile. Husband, I have seen your first wife, she did not look down on me at all. Qin Yun has no choice. He is starting to believe that Nine-Sun-Law spirit gave him a very special handsome face. Once a woman sets her eyes on him, he will not be able to get rid of her. But after thinking about it carefully, he felt that he should be relying on his ability to conquer Yu Yaoyao's heart. When he first met Yu Yaoyao, this heavenly venerable Yu Shou was very arrogant, she did not put him in her eyes at all. Later on, he did many awesome things that gradually attracted Yu Yaoyao and said that she wanted to subdue him. Patriarch wants me to use young Kunpeng to help you, but I don't think it's necessary. Although I don't know what method you will use, I believe that you will definitely be able to take down Strange Cat King City. Yu Yaoyao said with a stern expression. You truly understand me? Qin Yun said with smile. Of course, you are now my husband. Yu Yaoyao laughed, then jumped to Qin Yun's side and sat on his thigh. Damned witch, why are you so casual? Qin Yun scolded with a smile. Then, he reached out and pinched her waist. Yu Yao smiled and said, My God King husband, when are you going to attack exotic Cat King City? I'll go with you. I want to see with my own eyes how you create a miracle. Yu Yaoyao said that she would go no matter what. She knew that Qin Yun was very strong, but she was very worried. If Qin Yun really couldn't do it, then she would use the Nine Suns Kunpeng to help. We'll set off at dawn. Qin Yun caressed her beautiful face and said softly, Yaoyao, it's really dangerous this time. Those guys are very powerful. I know, but I'm not afraid. Little Kunpeng said he's willing to help you. Yu Yaoyao leaned on Qin Yun's chest and said with smile, Husband, it is very important for you to attack Strange Cat Royal City. You have so many women, you can't not be by your side at the crucial moment, right? I'll go with you, okay? It's good that they didn't come. My women are very clear about my ability. Qin Yun pinched Yu Yaoyao's nose and said with smile, "You don't believe in my ability, so you want to go with me. My women are not like that. I just want to see husband's elegant demeanor with my own eyes." Yu Yaoyao said coquettishly, "All right, when the time comes, just watch carefully." Qin Yun kissed her small mouth. Late at night, Qin Yun entered the heaven-leaping shuttle and brought Ba Taiying, his 3 brothers, as well as Yu Yaoyao towards Strange Cat King City. And Wukong left the Heaven Secret sect early to make arrangements. Inside the warehouse of the heaven-leaping shuttle, there is also the Blue Universe Battle Group. They are also Qin Yun's trump card. No one knows when Qin Yun will attack Strange Cat King City. Some people even suspect that Qin Yun will not go. However, there are already many spies hidden in the vicinity of Strange Cat King City. They all came from various kingdoms and powerful races. All the major powers are very concerned about this battle. If Qin Yun wins, then all the major powers will have some misgivings about this divine king of divine desolate so that they won't suffer a great loss in the future. Moreover, they want to understand Qin Yun's tactics. Especially those kingdoms, they might have conflicts with Qin Yun in the future. The more they know about this future enemy, the better. Strange Cat King City is bigger than before, its city walls are taller and thicker. This time, Strange Cat King City has already erected a large number of formation pillars. Inside and outside the city, there are many formation pillars that are more than 10,000 zhang tall. Strange Cat King City's great formation has already been opened. Those 200,000 enslaved people of Divine Desolate have been driven out of the city gate. Strange Cat King City is almost finished. People of Divine Desolate are not allowed to enter. The Cat Ear people think that they will dirty the city. Almost all of these 200,000 people of Divine Desolate are injured. They are now outside the city gate of Strange Cat King City. It is as if they are surrounded and not allowed to run around. The Cat Ear people are now waiting to see if Qin Yun will come to save these people. If Qin Yun doesn't come, they will spread the news that Qin Yun, the Divine King, has already abandoned Divine Desolate. The heaven-leaping shuttle has already arrived outside of Strange Cat King City. It is now high in the sky. Moreover, it is hidden and has not been sensed by Strange Cat King City. From the sky, Qin Yun looked down at the formation structure of Strange Cat King City and cannot help but sneer. Middle-level people's formation is only at this level? Qin Yun is very disdainful of Strange Cat King City's majestic giant pillar formation. Actually, middle-level people's formation level is very high. If the heaven-opening ancient race saw it, they would definitely exclaim in admiration. However, Qin Yun has obtained a large number of inscription spirits and many bloodline heavenly pattern boxes. Unknowingly, he has been influenced by the bloodline heavenly pattern boxes and inscription spirit. His understanding of inscription has become even deeper. At daybreak, 7 myriad realms divine suns slowly rose up and illuminated Divine Desolate. Outside the city gate of Strange Cat King City, space suddenly fluctuated. A city suddenly appeared in the sky above the city. It is Strange Space Ancient City. Strange Space Ancient City released spatial power towards the city gate and transferred all the people of Divine Desolate into the ancient city. After the transfer, Strange Space Ancient City once again strangely disappeared. Strange Space Ancient City has spatial origin stones. Even if space is sealed, as long as one has enough energy and can use the strongest power of spatial origin stones, they can still travel through space. Using the heaven-leaping shuttle is the same principle. As long as one has enough energy, they can still break through space. However, the heaven-leaping shuttle is controlled by the little ant queen, so it is very easy to travel through space. The outsiders had expended a great deal of resources to achieve this. As expected of the strange space race, beautifully done. Qin Yun relaxed after seeing the Strange Space Ancient City disappear. Cat Ear people, prepare to die. Chapter 3066. The divine desolate people outside of strange Cat King City were suddenly taken away by a floating city. This scene shocked many people, especially the spies from the kingdoms. Space has been sealed by Great Luo Empire. How can such a big city be able to travel through space? What is going on? Could it be that Great Luo Empire is letting them off? Wasn't it Great Luo Empire who took action just now? The spies from the kingdom also wanted to travel through space, as it would be much more convenient. However, in order to separate the various races of the divine wilderness from each other, the Great Luo Empire sealed the space, reducing the number of races from the divine wilderness from each other. Although this caused great inconvenience, it did not affect Great Luo Empire at all. Great Luo Empire's main purpose is to obtain divine universe golden stones, and they do not carry out any activities in divine desolate. Inside the heaven leaping shuttle, Yu Yaoyao saw that the divine desolate people have been rescued and felt very relieved. She said with smile, "Husband, you are really something. Can we go back now?" "Yaoyao, it seems like you don't understand me well enough." Qin Yun shook his head and said, "I can save the divine desolate people once or twice, but what about the third or fourth time? Divine desolate is so big and there are so many divine desolate people, I can't save them all." Yu Yaoyao faintly sighed. She knew that Qin Yun still wants to attack Strange Cat King City, and this means that there will be great danger. Only by thoroughly making the enemy fear and letting them know how serious the consequences of enslaving the divine desolate people are, can we save the divine desolate people. Qin Yun looked at Strange Cat King City and said, "I must destroy this city, I must make the Strange Cat army suffer disastrous casualties. I want other kingdoms to know the consequences of provoking me." "Husband, I believe you will succeed." Yu Yaoyao leaned on Qin Yun's shoulder. She doesn't know what Qin Yun is going to do next, she only knows that he will use a shocking method to destroy Strange Cat King City. Qin Yun is waiting for people. He did not immediately attack the city. Not long after, the heaven leaping shuttle stirred. Qin Yun immediately teleported the people outside the heaven leaping shuttle in. The people who came in are Space God and Nameless Old Man. They are Qin Yun's old friends. "Space brother, it's been hard on you this time," said Qin Yun with a smile. The spatial god was unlike the others, who made himself look like a handsome man with tender skin. Instead, he was an elder with the demeanor of an immortal. The nameless old man was different. He had turned into a very handsome man, but even if he was reduced to ashes, Qin Yun would still recognize him. The nameless old man could also be considered an extraordinary person. He was able to create the primal chaos divine sun and had grasped the method to create the divine sun. "Nameless old man, let's see if your creation is strong enough." Qin Yun chuckled. "It took me a long time to make it. You must use it well, don't waste it." The nameless old man took out a cigarette and lit it up. He took out 10 large black balls, each half a meter tall. Sealed within these black spheres were tiny chaos divine suns. They were created by the nameless old man for his own cultivation or to smash people with. Qin Yun needed a very fierce explosive, so he thought of the nameless old man. The nameless old man did not disappoint him. He indeed had this kind of thing. "Since it's so urgent, I won't calculate the price with you for now. After this is over, just remember to return it to me," the nameless old man said with a smile. The primal chaos divine sun created by the nameless old man has been improved. He absorbed the divine power of the 4 divine suns to improve it. If the primal chaos divine sun is detonated, the power released will be very terrifying. Qin Yun still doesn't know how powerful it will be. "Brother Ba, follow me," Qin Yun said to Ba Tain and others. Qin Yun let Imperial Demon Yao stay in the heaven leaping shuttle and flew out with Ba Tain. He poured the power of the mysterious penetration divine ability into a special crystal and turned it into a talisman crystal. Although Qin Yun didn't obtain the method to make talisman crystals from heaven extermination with his perception, he quickly figured it out. Ba Taiyin and others used this talisman crystal to drill deep underground using the power of the mysterious penetration divine ability. They want to enter deep underground of Strange Cat King City. Qin Yun and others have already drilled very deep underground. However, when they wanted to go under Strange Cat King City, they were blocked by a very strong barrier. Strange Cat Kingdom is quite something. They can actually make a barrier so deep underground. Qin Yun warned Ba Taiyin and others to be careful and not touch the barrier. Barriers so deep underground must have very weak defensive power. It might not even have any defensive power. However, it has a kind of warning power. Once touched, it will create a very big commotion. It will let the inscription masters inside Strange Cat King City know that someone wants to drill into Strange Cat King City from underground. Qin Yun took out the divine mirror of primal beginning and very easily made a hole in the barrier. Then he let Ba Taiyin and others go in. Soon after, he quickly made more than 10 talismans and let them carry them. They can sense this kind of barrier and use the power of the talismans to open the entrance. Strange Cat King City is above. You should know how big it is, right? Qin Yun took out a map and asked them to dig some tunnels for him to use to place explosives. Soon after, Qin Yun left the underground and returned to the heaven-leaping shuttle. Space God and Nameless Old Man have already left. Yu Yaoyao is waiting for Qin Yun to attack Strange Cat King City. When she saw Qin Yun return, she hastily asked, "Is it about to begin?" "Not yet, wait a bit more," Qin Yun said with smile. "I am still preparing." Qin Yun kissed Yu Yaoyao's face, then teleported to a secret room and took out the pill transformation heavenly furnace. The primal divine sun that Nameless Old Man gave him are very small ones. Qin Yun is worried that its power is not enough, so he wants to use the pill transformation heavenly furnace to refine it. "Old brother Taisher, how is the power of these 10 primal divine sun?" Qin Yun released the 10 large black balls and used the divine mirror of primal beginning to illuminate them. "The power is not bad, there is still a lot of room for improvement," Taisher said. "It is already very good for a human to create a small divine sun at this level." Nameless Old Man created primal divine sun inside 4 divine suns. He can borrow the power of 4 divine suns. This will allow him to achieve twice the result with half the effort. "I will use the pill transformation heavenly furnace to see if I can improve it further." Qin Yun placed a very small primal divine sun inside the pill transformation heavenly furnace. After the Divine King Heavenly Seal bestowed the power of the pill transformation heavenly furnace, when needed, it can produce 2. However, it consumes a lot of energy. Qin Yun wants to try and see if he can strengthen the small primal divine sun and turn it into 2. This way, he will have 20 in his hands. Refining the small primal divine sun consumes a lot of energy. Fortunately, the pill transformation heavenly furnace can now absorb the energy of the 9 sun divine spirit. If he used the divine universe golden stone to refine it, it would definitely consume a lot of energy. After the Divine King Heavenly Seal bestowed the power of the pill transformation heavenly furnace, it can absorb the energy of the few divine suns inside the 9 sun divine spirit even faster. Chapter 3067. The Divine Sun within the 9 Sun Divine Spirit had already shown great use. Grand Prime told Qin Yun that he can use the Divine King Heavenly Seal's power to let the Divine Tool obtain the Divine Sun energy inside the 9 Sun Divine Soul. This way, he can reduce his consumption and also make him stronger. The 9 Sun Divine Spirit still has not opened the 8th and 9th pearls. Xiao Yuelan and Xiao Yueme said that they might be able to help open them, but they have tried several times before without success. No one knows what is inside the 9 Sun Divine Soul's 8th and 9th pearl. It was highly possible that the 9-yang Dharma spirit let the heavenly Tao release those things. Qin Yun previously asked the 9-yang Dharma spirit, but it said that even it doesn't know. However, the 9-yang Dharma spirit definitely has some understanding of the 8th and 9th pearls. It's just that it refused to say. Qin Yun secretly suspected that the things inside the 8th and 9th pearls of the 9 Sun Divine Spirit could evolve on their own. Yang Yang had already transformed into the 9 heavens vermilion bird and frequently entered the purple sun. Therefore, she discovered a problem. The divine universe purple sun's energy was quietly flowing to a certain place. The speed at which it was flowing wasn't very fast, and it was slowly flowing to the other pearls. Yang Yang is very sensitive to the energy of the few divine suns within the 9 Sun Divine Spirit, so she can sense it. Qin Yun touched his 9-yang Divine Spirit. Back then, this thing was refined by him. He never expected that it would grow to a point where even he could not see through it. After the Dan transformation, Heavenly Furnace absorbed a lot of energy from the 9 Sun Divine Spirit. It refined the small primal Divine Sun into 2. Furthermore, it suppressed it to become smaller and more powerful. After refining, it's still very big. Qin Yun took out 2 watermelon-sized pearls from Dan Transformation Heavenly Furnace. It's even more powerful, much better than before, Taisher said. Qin Yun continued to refine. He wanted to place 10 of them under the strange Cat King city and blow up the entire city. Weren't there spies from the other kingdoms and factions watching over them? They all wanted to see Qin Yun's strength. Then, Qin Yun would let them see with their own eyes how a city was blown up. After the 200,000 divine wilderness people were rescued, there was movement in Strange Cat Royal City. They originally believed that Qin Yun would begin attacking the city after rescuing them. However, Qin Yun did not attack the city immediately. The scouts from the kingdoms and the various powerful races watching the battle from afar were also somewhat anxious. This was because Qin Yun had yet to appear after a period of time. If Qin Yun only wanted to save them, it would be useless. Exotic Cat Royal City will be able to capture a large number of divine desolate people in the future. Qin Yun must use a powerful force to intimidate the exotic cat kingdom and let them know fear. Strange Cat King City's cat-eared people are very unhappy because Qin Yun brazenly saved so many divine desolate people and they were unable to stop him. They all hoped that Qin Yun would quickly attack the city so that they could capture Qin Yun and hand him over to the great Luo Empire. The fact that Qin Yun did not attack made the cat-eared man very uncomfortable. They believed that Qin Yun was still in the vicinity of Strange Cat King City and was waiting for an opportunity to strike. This was also a psychological tactic. Qin Yun was not in a hurry. He had come to attack the city, and destroying the entire exotic Cat King City was his primary objective. After that, he would slaughter a massive number of the cat-eared people and obtain the divine universe heavenly bone within their bodies. During this attack on Strange Cat King City, Qin Yun had spent a massive amount of resources. If he didn't obtain a massive amount of divine universe heavenly bones, then he would have suffered a great loss. Moreover, only this kind of justifiable attack would allow him to obtain a large number of divine universe heavenly bones. After this battle, the other kingdoms would definitely not dare to directly confront him. At that time, it would not be easy to obtain a large number of divine universe heavenly bone. Divine Desolate had a large number of divine universe metal stones, but there were no divine universe heavenly bones. The middle and upper class people had a large number of divine universe heavenly bones. If they came to Divine Desolate and did not behave themselves, Qin Yun would think that they came to give away divine universe heavenly bones. Qin Yun was using the pill-melting heavenly furnace in the heaven-leaping shuttle and refining the small primal chaos divine Sunday. Suddenly, a loud voice came from outside. Qin Yun, I know you are hiding outside the city. Are you waiting for one of us to go out alone and then ambush our people? Don't joke around, we have 100,000 people. Even if we go out one by one for you to kill, you won't be able to kill all of us. Qin Yun, hurry up and attack the city. You are some god king of divine desolate. Don't you want to prove that you are very strong? Now that you are hiding like a turtle, how can you prove it? All the powerful races in divine desolate are watching you, a god king, attack the city. Coward, don't be a coward, come out and attack the city immediately. This voice came from exotic Cat King City. He used this kind of rhetoric to provoke Qin Yun to attack the city, which sounded very stupid. After Qin Yun heard this, he found it funny. This person was treating him like a child. Then, another voice came from exotic Cat King City. Clearly, it was the cat-eared man who had just spoken that had caused a joke. Now, it was someone else who sounded very powerful. I am Exotic Cat Kingdom's General Meng Kai. My cultivation far exceeds the 9th level of the Divine Space Realm. Now, my avatar is in Exotic Cat King City and is in charge of leading the 100,000 Exotic Cat Army. Qin Yun, listen up. I know you very well. I know that you are a human that the 9 Suns Law Spirit values. Moreover, your wife is one of the 9 Suns Divine Ladies. Don't think that we can't do anything to the 9 Suns Divine Lady just because she hides inside the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. We can easily attack inside the Divine Sun. Let me tell you, the Divine Lady created by the 9 Suns Law Spirit is the favorite of His Highness the Crown Prince of Deluo. Of course, your wife is already someone else's wife. His Highness the Crown Prince doesn't like her, so he will only make her a lowly slave. His Highness the Crown Prince personally said that he will capture your wife and make her a lowly slave. As for the other divine ladies inside the Divine Sun, they will also be captured by him. As for what will happen, ha ha ha. General Meng Kai laughed heartily as he spoke, as though he were the Crown Prince. When Qin Yun heard this, his expression gradually turned cold. In his heart, this General Meng Kai and the Crown Prince of Deluo Empire were both people who were about to die. Divine Sun Divine Ladies are very rare treasures. His Highness the Crown Prince likes them the most. Most super divine sons don't create divine ladies because they are afraid that His Highness the Crown Prince will like them. The 9 Suns Law Spirit is doing this to give women to His Highness the Crown Prince. Qin Yun, you don't even dare to attack exotic Cat King City now. How will you dare to resist Deluo Empire in the future? How will you protect your wife? Of course, even if you dare to resist Deluo Empire, it will be useless. Your wife is already destined to become His Highness the Crown Prince's lowly slave. Meng Kai laughed loudly. In the heaven-leaping shuttle, Imperial Demon Yao was also very angry when she heard this. She wished that she could immediately release the 9 Suns Kuanping and ruthlessly destroy exotic Cat King City. Chapter 3068. Qin Yun is very angry in his heart, but he quickly calmed down. Today, he will definitely attack strange Cat King City. Yao Yao, don't let the young Kuanping come out. It's not good to expose young Kuanping's strength now. Qin Yun's voice traveled into the main control room. Husband, that guy's words are too harsh. I'm very angry. Imperial Demon said. She naturally knew that the 9 Suns Kuanping was very strong, and she had never sent it out to battle before. From time to time, she would bring the 9 Suns Kuanping into the 5 Divine Suns, so that it could cultivate there. Don't worry, he is already a dead man. I will soon be able to take down his avatar. As for his main body, I will remember it, said Qin Yun. That's good. When Imperial Yao Yao heard Qin Yun's calm voice, she knew that Qin Yun was preparing. When the time comes, there will definitely be a huge commotion. Even after Meng Kai, the general, personally took action, Qin Yun did not immediately attack. The scouts who were patiently waiting a distance away had planned on leaving, but when they heard General Meng Kai's words, they felt that there was still hope. Qin Yun might attack. Therefore, they continued to wait. They wanted to see if Qin Yun would dare to attack strange Cat King City. One day passed. After daybreak, Qin Yun took out the 10 suppressed minor chaos divine sons. They entered the depths of the strange Cat King City. Ba Taiyin and company have already dug a few places. After Qin Yun went there, he just needed to place the little chaos divine Sunday. After placing them down, Qin Yun left with Ba Taiyin and company and returned to the heaven-leaping shuttle. When Imperial Demon Yao saw Qin Yun and Ba Taiyin return, he knew that it was about to begin. Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle to fly further away. Then, he said to Imperial Demon Yao, "Watch carefully, don't blink. Darling, what did you do?" Imperial Yao knew what Qin Yun had been secretly doing for the past 2 days, and was very curious about it. "Just watch," Qin Yun said with smile, and took out a talisman. This talisman was the mechanism to detonate the minor chaos divine sun, and it contained the power of soul fluctuations. After he burned the talisman, the detonation signal began to fluctuate. After a while, the signal passed through the barrier and was transmitted to the 10 small primal chaos divine suns. Boom! A loud explosion suddenly erupted. Under the ground, a few huge gray fire beasts suddenly emerged. Waves of violent gray flames surged up from the ground and engulfed the entire exotic Cat King City in an instant. Boom! Another loud sound rang out. The seemingly indestructible exotic Cat Royal City was blasted apart. A large number of pillars were broken. This huge and majestic exotic Cat Royal City, along with a large piece of land, was blasted into the sky. Then, the entire city disintegrated in the air. Qin Yun attacked the city, but he did not show himself. The entire city was blasted into the air by the powerful and violent impact from underground. At this moment, the land within a radius of hundreds of thousands of meters around exotic Cat King City was shrouded in gray flames. The scouts in the distance had to fly higher to avoid it. Large amounts of debris flew everywhere from the destroyed exotic Cat King City. The cat-eared people in the city were all soldiers, and they were quite strong, so not many of them were killed. However, they were like bugs in a storm and were blown everywhere. Originally, once this army of exotic cats was gathered together, their strength would be extremely formidable. Now that they have been blasted apart, they are like a plate of loose sand. Imperial Demon opened her pink eyes wide, looking at all of this in disbelief. Exotic Cat King City has many layers of enchantments, high and thick city walls. Moreover, there are many powerful cat-eared people guarding it. Not to mention the local forces of Divine Desolate, even if the troops of other kingdoms came, they would not be able to take it down in a short time. But now, Qin Yun has blasted the entire city. What exotic Cat King City is difficult to take down, what exotic Cat King City is indestructible, all of this has turned into a joke. The scouts sent by the various factions are holding recording crystals and recording everything that happened in front of them. They are also extremely shocked in their hearts. The Divine King of Divine Desolate really did not disappoint them. He really made exotic Cat Kingdom suffer a loss again. From the scouts' point of view, Qin Yun's attack on the city is already over. However, at this time, an incomparably mighty giant suddenly appeared on the ground. The giant is 20 meters tall, his skin is purplish-red and he is emitting intense divine universe purple energy. His body is wrapped in a blue crystal armor. The heavenly universe divine sun power is flowing under the crystal armor. The giant is wearing a mighty golden dragon head helmet. Both his hands and feet are like dragon claws. His whole body is emitting extremely dreadful dragon power. This is the Sky Universe Overlord. Previously, Qin Yun added a large amount of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone into it to refine it. Moreover, it has been tempered in the Divine Universe Purple Sun and Heavenly Universe Divine Sun for many years, so its body is extremely powerful. Blue Universe Battle Group, Take your storage divine tools and go in to kill the enemies. Then put them in your storage divine tools. Qin Yun gave the 100 great Blue Empire warriors many storage divine tools. When he gave the order, he held a blue pearl in his hand. These warriors completely obeyed his orders. 100 powerful 9th-level Divine Universe Realm warriors suddenly flew out of the heaven-leaping shuttle and landed on the ground. Ba Taiyin and others also followed them down to the overturned ground and began killing the cat-eared people. Qin Yun brought Imperial Demon and entered the Sky Universe Overlord's body. Could it be that we are inside that giant? Imperial Demon sat beside Qin Yun in a very comfortable chair. She turned her head and looked around. She can see the giant's arms. This is my special mount, Qin Yun said with a smile. Then, he released several pairs of huge heavenly eye avatars. They floated in the sky and looked down at the ground. This will allow him to quickly find the cat-eared people. Husband, is this guy strong? Imperial Demon is very excited. Controlling a big guy to fight everywhere is a very cool thing. Of course it is strong. Look. Qin Yun controlled the Sky Universe Overlord to quickly wave its arms and grab a cat-eared person. Then, it kneaded it into a ball. The Sky Universe Overlord's hands can release Divine Universe Purple Sun Flame and Heavenly Universe Divine Sun Flame. When kneading the cat-eared person, it burned away the flesh and blood, leaving only the bones. Very soon, many cat-eared people's miserable screams can be heard. The 9th-level Divine Universe Realm cat-eared people are very strong. But in front of the Blue Universe Battle Group, they are like weeds, quickly being harvested. The Blue Universe Battle Group is like a gust of wind, quickly sweeping across the ground. Wherever they go, a large number of cat-eared people are killed. The 9th-level Divine Universe Realm cat-eared people have already been blown away. When the Blue Universe Battle Group is fighting, they will first find the 9th-level Divine Universe Realm cat-eared people. As long as they get rid of these 9th-level Divine Universe Realm cat-eared people, the rest will be like weeds, easily harvested. Qin Yun shouted from inside the Sky Universe Overlord's body. General Meng Kai, where are you? Are you satisfied with my attack? If you are, please give me a good rating. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.